that before you get to the high school.
There it is, Real Migos. There we are. Look at my fresh hair. It's nice and beautiful today. Yeah, it's been a long one. So yeah, let's get into it. So tonight we're going to talk about in fact, where are all the comments at? Where's everybody at?
They're quiet today.
Comments. Yeah, what's up? Your granny's here?
Hi, Granny.
Is that my granny?
I think it's yours.
Look at that red pepper.
So we are talking regrets today. I have my esteemed colleagues, the Magic Mullet, the Benevolent Beret, and Awesome Sarah. So hello, everybody.
Sarah, we need a nickname.
Yeah, we need a nickname for Sarah. If somebody's got a good nickname from Sarah, let's roll it in there.
Love it.
Here we go. Sanjeev's here. However you say that. Hello, welcome.
Division incision.
That's what I said that, right? That's what I said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Astros versus Dodgers, a bunch of cheaters. All right. The Astros are definitely the cheaters. So, all right. So welcome everybody. It has been an extremely long week for me, and it's Tuesday. Ian, how are you doing? Sarah, what's up? How's everybody doing?
Good. Sorry. I'm good. I actually got to do career day at my kid's school and talk about the beautiful life of being a mortgage banker.
Oh, that's awesome. What'd they say?
They actually were really excited and had good questions. One cute little boy had a great question. He asked, what if someone wanted to trick everybody and make the houses were actually holograms and tricked people to buy the holograms and they weren't getting real houses? So I told him that we have this amazing person called an appraiser that goes and checks out the house to make sure it's real before people buy it.
Fair enough. That's.
Did any of the kids stand up and say, I want to be a mortgage agent when I grow up?
My daughter.
That's funny. Yeah. I watched Talladega Nights last night, and they have that career day thing where the guy that comes on before Ricky's dad goes, and that's what it's like to be the manager of a Waffle House. So that's what I envision every time somebody talks about career day. And I don't know what else to say.
That is an underrated movie.
Oh, man, that's so funny.
So good.
I had to watch it because the NASCAR was in town this weekend, so it got me hyped up for, racing.
At MotoGP? At the F1 track?
Yeah, it was NASCAR weekend out there at COTA. I know. No, I didn't know until like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah. So, and then I had to go. Of course, it rained all weekend, which was pretty bad. But it was a fun event. I'm glad to see more stuff coming back to Austin.
I agree.
Yeah, it's nice not having to wear a mask everywhere anymore. That's been
new.
fun.
That's news this week, right?
Yeah, I went into Torchy's today, and I felt like a weirdo not wearing a mask, but it was great. So yeah, that was good.
Whole Foods even.
Yeah.
But I went there today, and everybody else was wearing one except for me because I don't know if they just don't know.
Wow. So we're rolling already. So division and
Isn't that Skyridge?
Yes, it's Skyridge, and here. Let me tell you a funny story. So I actually did a video, not necessarily bashing this neighborhood, but talking about how it was so disappointed in this neighborhood. I called Milestone today because I was like, hey, we're going to be shooting a video on Thursday, me and my videographer, and we wanted to come into the Grove. And he called me and he's like, oh, that'd be so great. Where can I find your videos? And I'm like, on YouTube? And he's like, okay, great. I'll check them out. And then that'd be great. And I'm like, they're going to call me back and be like, you ripped our community. There's no way we're going to let you come. Like,
I don't know that. I mean, she might be, but I also think she might be talking about the resort community next to Salt Lake.
There's, Sky Ridge is pretty close, but there's another one that's in more of in Driftwood, and that one's like going to be a golf course community. Those are expensive. Expensive. There you go. It was right next to Sarah's house. So, well, cool. All right. So we are talking about this article that came out, and I'm a little mad because Graham Stephan did a video that came out yesterday. I'm like, damn it, we're doing that on a live stream tomorrow, you jerk. So thanks, Graham Stephan. But this is where we are doing tonight. So this article came out talking about millennials not there we go. All right. So it's 64% of millennials have regrets about buying their current home. And even on my YouTube channel, I put up a little poll to see if people have regrets. And I don't know that they were necessarily millennials, but nobody really had regrets buying in the last year, it seems like. So what are your thoughts? Have you heard from clients or buyers or anybody complaining that they regret buying their current home?
Not recently. I had one. I only had one, and it was because she did what we all advise buyers not to do. She waived her third-party inspection up front.
Ooh, that's going to be rough.
So she really wanted this house. It was like she said it was her dream house, and she knew the owner, and so she paid for everything and waived third-party inspection. I just got an email from her this weekend because she decided to redo the flooring. And she pulled up the carpet and found cracks and foundation issues with the house. And so now she doesn't even want to put the money into it. And she's like, is there anything I can do? Can I just sell it and buy something else? And I said, you really need to talk to your realtor, just, about a lot of that. But if you want to get financing to try to find something else, let me know. But that's why we always advise, don't waive your third party inspection.
Wait, so she ripped up the floors after she closed and now she's having regrets, or?
Yes.
Okay. But the thing is, you can't look under carpets in an inspection anyway. Well,
she's saying there's more to it. Like there's foundation issues with the house and she apparently you can see it on the outside of the house too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. An inspection would have found that.
Was she buying it sight unseen? Did you have a chance to walk through it, or what was going on there?
Yeah, so she, it wasn't sight unseen, but she hadn't got inside of it. Well, so she didn't get to go inside of it. She just saw the outside, but she's not, and
but she's got a realtor too, right? Or other people that were helping her look at some sort of thing.
It's not. So it was the other thing too that we talked about on one of the other shows we did, where the realtor she used is a part-time realtor.
Yep.
And so he was a part-time realtor. Doesn't do it full-time. So she didn't have to pay it. He waived his, his commission and all that stuff. And I think it was a couple of things going on here with this deal.
Ian, are you seeing the questions come up on your side?
No.
So I'm pulling up on the side, I pulled up the feed, and I'm seeing tons of questions, but nothing's coming through on our feed. I wonder what the heck's up with that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it either.
Totally damages what we had going on tonight. What a bummer.
Yeah, I see Graham always takes the spotlight. There's a couple things in there. Yeah, I didn't see it. That's strange. I wonder if it's because we started the live and ended it and started it again or something.
I didn't end it.
Oh.
I started and ended it? What the hell?
No, I know that we had started the music and then it paused for a minute. Back up again.
She's got a realtor too, right? Or other people that.
That's weird. I don't get it. Well, I'm having to read the comments on the side. I apologize for that because this reboot. How do you reboot this thing?
Wow, yeah, it
log
like
back in and-
stopped doing comments altogether.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything come through. It's weird.
Cool.
Awesome. That's exactly what I wanted tonight.
Yay. Let's be positive about it. I've opened up the chat in the video. I guess it'll just be a little delayed, yeah?
Yep.
You know, that whole Graham deal though. Oh, bye, Jeremy.
Oh.
Jeremy's like, F it, I'm done. That's too funny. I feel like Graham is one of those. He's not that most YouTubers aren't, Jeremy, but they're sensational sometimes. Like, he took that article that says that 64% of millennials have regrets. They don't regret buying. They have regrets about the property that they purchased.
Right.
Big difference. In fact, if you look at that study, I'll tell you, of those people that said like that they regretted, what they regretted, most of them didn't regret anything. 36% of people didn't regret anything at all. And I think the rest of the stuff is just like, there could be one thing that they regret. Like, every house that you have, everything that you get, I don't care who you are. If you're describing something to someone and people are like, well, what did you think about it? If you only say good things, people aren't going to believe you. So you have to pick something. You're like, well, if I had it to do over again, I would do X, Y, Z. So that's why I understand what the deal is. But the only regrets I haven't heard them say, but I'm making the assumption, is I know that one of my clients sold a property listed late last year, and I thought we nailed the price, and we were very close, but at the end of the day, it didn't sell for where we thought it would. And I was baffled because I was like, listen, I don't know what's going on. This is very strange. That same property, same unit, just went under contract for which obviously a lot more. So I know that my clients do look at that. One of my clients I met with the other day, they sold a house 3-4 years ago, and they just mentioned to me, they're like, oh, we looked at our house value on Zillow and it says it's worth X number of dollars. And I'm like, some people, they always regret it. Like, they're always just having second thoughts about it. But I haven't had anybody specifically come to me and be like, man, I wish I wouldn't have bought this house that you just sold me.
Right.
Look, we have comments. Look at all these beautiful comments.
What happened?
Oh, yay.
It's magic.
Later.
Sorry, Kevin, to not talk about whatever you were talking about. I wasn't listening. I mean,
oh no. Honestly, I was just goldfishing it. I was just filling the space while you're figuring it out.
Because that's what you want. You want real stories, people that have actually gone through it and have had or have not had regrets. So
I think like the biggest regret that I think I'm hearing from people purchasing right now is, like, obviously a lot of people are buying, and there's a large number of people buying, with FOMO, right? Mm-hmm. And so in this market, I've seen like these polls or articles come out that say, the 7 things to expect when buying a home right now. It's like, you have to adjust your search criteria, you have to adjust your price, you have to adjust all these things. And I think the people that I'm seeing that are maybe regretful are regretting that they made so many concessions just to buy that house, didn't get a big enough house. And it's the same thing when you build a house. I mean, how many times has somebody built a house and afterwards be like, oh, I wish I'd have done this. I mean, my own home, I wish I would have bought in Sarah's neighborhood. Then we could have been, golf cart buddies and everything, And then Kevin, he wishes he didn't sell his $500,000 house in High Point that's now worth $2 million. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's one of these things, like, it's regretful, but would it have changed the situation? I'm not so sure, but I'm thinking, actually, I'm making the assumption on behalf of folks right now. I think that you're right. I think what they'll regret is not necessarily the house that they got. I think they'll regret the way that it happened. What do you guys think? Like, the process of having to basically lay down your entire life just to be competitive for one of these houses. I think some people are going to look back on that when it slows down, which it will. They will naturally think, man, maybe I should have just waited until it slowed down. right? Because it's a big pressure environment.
I think the number one regret that I'm getting is people feel like they are too late. Like they should have. They had opportunities. They should have. And now they're like, oh, I'm kicking myself because I didn't buy when I could have. Right? Because I was waiting for either the interest rate or to see if the market would cool down a little more or something like that.
Yeah. Sarah didn't tell me the interest rate was going to go up, so I should have bought.
Yep.
Right. Good job, Sarah. Messing everybody's lives up.
No, but Ian has a really good point because I have folks that right after everything shut down last year were like, oh, I'm not going to do anything. I don't know what's going to happen. And they thought there's going to be a lot of foreclosures coming, something like that. Or they're scared, that would be like 2008 again. And that wasn't the case. And the folks that, kept moving forward got amazing deals, especially on some of these new construction. But ones that waited are now coming back, trying to get re-qualified now, are like kicking themselves because they're like, oh gosh, like rates are higher. Now the same home is like, now 50,000, 75,000 more than it was last year at this time. And so it's that cost of waiting that people don't understand, right? So there was a big cost of waiting with from last year to this year.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I like when Kevin, you use those macro and microeconomic words like equity absorption. So I'm going to throw one in there. Opportunity cost. That's all it is, right? We knew that we didn't know. We didn't know until maybe a month and a half after the pandemic that things were just starting to move forward. Right? There was only a short blip in time. But so I think we talked about it last week, the whole buy the dip. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But when is the dip, and are you in the dip? And that's always a question that people run into. I can tell you, from a purchasing standpoint. Now, I've never purchased in a market like this. Well,
you have.
It's not necessarily true. I'm under contract on one property. Thanks to Sarah, I just wrote an offer on another property today. So fingers crossed, hopefully love my lender. I sent her a picture. I sent like her blood type and everything. So Sarah, I sent them your social security as well. So hopefully they take my offer with all of that. But I've never purchased necessarily in this market. I'm doing a new build right now, but this market's crazy. It's always been busy, but I've not purchased in a market yet where I regretted it. Now, going back to 2008, my wife bought a property and regretted, and we kind of regret buying that property. Well, she bought it, not me, because she's smarter than I am, but she met me and she married me, so she's super smart. So there's that. But I think in this market, it's really tough because how do you know that this trend is going to keep going, right? I mean, just like Ian said, back in 2020, we were under contract on a new build. With Milestone, we had to back out because they were like, okay, we can't build in this lot. We're going to build on this lot, which was closer to the road. And as an investment, I didn't want to be closer to the main road. So we backed out. We got our money back. It took freaking 60 days. Thank you, Milestone. But like now looking back, I'm like, damn, I should have just bought that house because what I would have paid for that house now is easily 150 grand more. So that's my regrets.
This is like a small tangent, but it's related. So I'm looking at this house. So just in preparation for the talk tonight, I wanted to look and see if there were any opportunities out there, right? And I see this house. This house has been on the market for 25 days. I went and looked. It backs up to a main road. Right? So you may have actually judged correctly, or your wife may have judged correctly in backing out of that particular house.
Well, I didn't back. It was like 4 doors down from Manchaca, whatever you want to call it. And so I didn't want to be that close to Manchaca, whatever you want to call it. And that was the only reason why we backed out. And it was the middle of the pandemic had just started. And it was like, okay, we don't know where things are going to go. This is a bad purchase. So in retrospect, that was a fantastic purchase. And I totally botched that one.
Yeah, but let's talk first of all.
But I bought a beach condo instead, so I guess.
I guess that worked out all right, right?
Yeah, it worked out all right.
First of all, I'm going to shout out to my son London, who's watching our stream tonight, which I think is so awesome. He's 11 years old and he just texted me. So, what's up, London?
What's up, London?
Buddy?
London.
Anyways, and second to that is I think like what Ian said, the opportunity cost is like this is more of a calculus equation. It's not just algebra, although it's still algebra because it's not that complicated, but it is more complicated. But I called on an apartment, the brand new apartments over at the Belterra Village, which are almost completely sold out already, or leased already. They have 3 bedrooms there. Guess how much a 3-bedroom apartment is in Belterra?
Apartment in Belterra.
3 bedrooms on the second floor. Guess.
$3,800 a month.
I was going to say $3,500.
It's $3,300, $3,250. They have townhomes that are $4,200 or $4,300 a month. So here's the deal: your cost of waiting is costing you way more, because what I talked about last week was the lagging market of the rentals, right? Because what is going to happen is that this first wave of new purchasers were like the people that buy the iPhone and they wait in line. Like they recognized the opportunity and they jumped on it quickly, thinking, okay, while this is happening, I understand I need to not think about it. I need to go make this move. So now a lot of people, we're in this kind of weird position where people are kind of waiting to see what's happening. It's been a few months. So eventually these people are going to jump into the market. They're still not going to win deals and they're going to have to rent. You're going to see what you're seeing in the sales market now, you're going to see in the rental market in 6 to 12 months.
You're seeing it in the rental market right now, though.
Yeah, but you're going to see it in mass quantities where people are really discussing it and saying, hey, we were in a shortage. Now we're in a crisis for renting. And what's going to happen? Apartment complexes change their rates daily. They change their rates daily based on market demand and occupancy in the city. And they all share their data with each other. So don't tell me that that's not going to get crazy, because that 3-bedroom apartment, if it's, well, let's do the townhouse because that's equivalent. $4,200 a month times 12 months. We have to do a 15-month lease. That's $50,000 in 12 months on a lease, right? $50,000.
Yeah.
So that home that you didn't want to buy because it's $50,000 over your budget, you missed out on that $50,000. Plus, you missed out on a year's worth of equity building. Right. So I know it's not direct one-to-one because you have to pay taxes and stuff like that and principal or interest on your loan, but still, there's more cost of waiting than just like. I'm going to rant too, because I want to tell you this too. I was talking to one of my clients who is leasing one of their properties that they have, and they're debating whether they should manage it themselves or pay the property manager. It's like one of these same conversations. Like people are trying to pinch pennies on these things like that they think make a big difference financially, but in the grand scheme of things, it's costing them way more money, right? Because they're trying to do everything on their own, or they're trying to wait and get a better deal. Can't play these games. That's it.
The wait and get a better deal. I actually had somebody call me yesterday, and watches the stream. Thank you for watching. But we called and we sat on the phone for a little bit, and she said, "I'm looking for this. Give me." And I took maybe 15 minutes, found a few properties that fit that criteria. I said, "Do this. This is it. Buy this right now." And she goes, "What else you got?" I was like, "Here's the thing. It was the criteria was less than 350 within 30 minutes of Austin, and I had it. I found it. It was there."
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, I think that's the problem.
It just didn't have new carpet or something. Like that was it.
Here's the thing: is so regret on one hand, opportunity on the other, and I think the problem. What I've seen, and I think luckily a lot of people that come and reach out to us from the channel, especially me, that reach out to me, like most of them have listened to what's going on this channel and what we said and what I've said, and they come in a little bit more prepared. So prime example, a client come in a couple of weeks ago. I said, look, you're gonna have to put 150 grand over on this property to win. They listened to me. We got it. And it's not like we went crazy over list price, right? We did 150 grand over. I'm talking to the agent. They're like, the only reason you won were these like 3 minor little details. Other than that, like price was exactly the same as the other offer, but we went with you because of whatever. So just the minor details can make a huge difference. But what Ian is saying is that, hey, when that one comes up and we find it, you've got to jump on it.
Yeah, you can't.
It's like that. It's like that Apple thing, right? This is an Apple. You know what it is, and that's where I think some people look at it and go, okay, well, this is the first one I've looked at. I want to keep shopping around. I totally understand that. And I don't want to ever push anybody into buying something. But when they give you the criteria and you found it and they're like, okay, well, what else? It's like, I found it. Here's your options. Buy this now, or the next one we see is going to cost you more money. And that is where we're at. And so where's the regret in that? Are you going to regret passing up on that property, or are you going to regret that you bought it and then now you potentially have more equity?
Well, you want to be social and political. I think we can get into a bigger conversation about that. It says 64% of millennials regret it. 45% of Gen X regrets it. And then 33% of baby boomers regret it. If you ask me, it's because of the curse of choice. Like that, the hyper fragmentation of choices now available to us as people. Like I was we were talking earlier, I was just eating a sandwich. Like my sandwich today was made from gluten-free bread, bacon, dairy-free cheese, and vegetable, like vegan butter or whatever the case is. Like we're spoiled. Like I get to have that every day because that choice is available to me. And you know what? I regret it because maybe that bacon, I shouldn't have eaten that bacon because, it's a pork product. It's the curse that the millennials currently have, and that future generations are going to even be worse because if you're given a myriad of choices, you have no choice but to regret it. Like when I was a kid, we had a grilled cheese sandwich was an effing grilled cheese sandwich. It was bread. It was white bread with cheese and butter on it. It's not like you had the choice. If I told my mom when I was 5, I'd rather have vegan cheese, I get slapped upside the head. You know what I mean? So is it possible that the older generations don't regret it is because they had fewer choices?
Do they even have vegan cheese in Ohio or Iowa?
Illinois. No, probably not. That's the dairy belt.
Decatur. You know what's so interesting about that grilled cheese thing? I actually love when I can go to a restaurant, get grilled cheese and tomato soup because it feels like for the moment, removes the stress out of my life. And not that I feel like I'm like high stress or anything, but there's a lot coming at you. But yeah, that simplicity is incredible. And so, yeah, I feel the difference. It's strange.
Go customize anything. Go customize literally anything right now.
Well, that's why I don't go to Starbucks.
Anything. Well, did you guys see that? There's this trend going around through Starbucks right now where people are getting like crazy 17 modification orders. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I just wanted coffee. Look.
That's because you're getting older and you don't care as much. You just need the function of it and don't need all the grills.
I actually love things that are intricate and complex to my palate. I was just eating quinoa and pork chops. Couscous and pork. I love that, but not all the time, right? And anyway, that's way off. I don't know if that's off topic. I think
it's totally off topic. Come back into reality.
Do we ever really have a topic?
You know what? We do have a topic. It's regret. We're on the topic. I mean, Ian's regretting getting that coffee, but he's not regretting getting that Black Rifle coffee. That stuff's been perking me up big time. Black
Rifle had a truck at the NASCAR race this weekend.
Did they really?
Yeah, it was like a military truck. It was pretty cool.
So one of the owners of Black Rifle has a place off 1826, and they built up this big berm. And so I have friends that live over there, and they're like, "Hey, see this big berm over here? We're driving by." One of the owners of Black Rifle is shooting into that berm, which is right next to 18. Literally, here's 1826. Here's the berm, and they're shooting into the berm next to 1826. Well, the other way. But isn't that crazy? You shoot over that, you're going to shoot somebody. Hello? No. Be careful.
Isn't that the one rule in Hayes County is that there's no limit on the size of your land that you can shoot on as long as it doesn't cross your property line?
Well.
That's an interesting.
Yeah. They also have a ton of hogs out there. So. All right. So we've got some good questions in here. Keep the questions coming. Keep the comments coming. I think what we're going to have to do, Ian, you're going to have to, in the private chat, shoot me that link. You know what I'm talking about? Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Nod, nod, wink, wink.
I think we're going to have to give away some merch today. Who wants some merch? We're going to give away free merch today. And so the best comments that I see on here and we all agree that's the best freaking comment. You're getting a free shirt, free hat. What else do we want to give away? Sarah, do you have mugs to give away? What do you got to give away, Sarah?
What do I have to give away?
Yeah, come on, Sarah.
Oh,
She's like,
that's not fun.
I got this little notepad right here that says my company name on it and some
Some
pens. All right, we're giving away some shirts. We're giving away some hats. We're giving away free. So the best comments on here, if we all agree that's the best comment, we're giving away free shizzle. All right, ready?
Dean told me he'd list somebody's house for free. I'm just not trying to start anything, but he mentioned that.
That's blasphemy right there.
Free mortgage advice.
Yeah.
I'll do a free CMA for you. I'm not handing you the paper. That's expensive. Lumber prices are going up.
So, all right. So we got Real Amigos gear on here. Did you get the hats up here yet?
So hats are still going through a design approval. Yeah, because it's a different process. So those are going through approval. So those should be up next week. And then I'm adding logos to a couple of the other items too. But I made sure to individualize. So there's also like a couple that are just the benevolent beret, a couple that are just the magical mullet, and a couple that are just the night mode. That's the official name, right? Is that the official name?
Night mode. I love that. Night mode. I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh, you had a pillow so people can cuddle up to you every night.
Yeah, I ordered.
I ordered on here too.
Replacement tumbler. What was that?
We have pillows on here.
Yeah, pillows. We got beach blanket.
Oh shoot! I'm definitely picking.
Colors. When you click on it, you can choose all sorts of colors and stuff. That's why I have them in color.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to get this towel for the beach condo, and I'm just gonna have to leave them there with my phone number on there.
All of them. People just washing their bodies with a mullet. It's great.
Oh dang! Great color.
Wow.
With a beret. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. This one right here has got my name on it. I'm gonna have to get like 6 of these. All right. So there we go. All right. So best comments. You're getting free merch. And don't worry, Master Jedi, you ain't getting nothing for free. You're gonna have to come through with some massive good comment to get something free. Okay. I got to see something good out of Master Jedi tonight for him to qualify for free stuff. All right. So let's keep rolling. Any other reasons why people might have regrets buying right now? Is the market going to crash next week? Is it going to crash in a year? Here we go. There we go. The question got asked right there. Governor Graham, when is this supposed to crash? People have commented about supply on here. When is the supply going to get better? Ian sent me an email the other day with an article about lumber prices coming down. I was like, fantastic. I read the article. The next day, lumber prices did what, Ian? They went back up.
Yep. So, they're doing what Bitcoin's doing, you know?
Yeah.
Lumber's down. GameStop's up, baby.
GameStop.
I will say though, like as far as because I'm on these calls and and pay attention to the loan side, and I read some economists and all that stuff just as part of my job. But some of the things that came out this morning, so the year-over-year national appreciation numbers came out this morning. And so these are actual, the actual numbers from March year-over-year.
You have the link? You have the link? We can share it.
Huh?
You have the link? We can share it.
I don't. It's through, but I can, because it's through a thing that I pay for.
Well, you can do screen share and pull it up. See that button at the bottom that says screen share? Or share?
Austin Real Estate to the moon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real broker to the moon. There you go.
I like it.
So as I work on this, I'll let you know. But basically, the report came out and we're at 3.2% year over year for appreciation. So that's 15-year highs.
You son of a bitch.
And everyone called Jeremy on a Sunday.
Yeah, don't call me Sunday morning, please.
Hey.
So basically what I was going to say that based off of that number, like it's 15-year high, 13.2 appreciation nationally, right? And so we can't continue on that like permanently because that means in 6 years, home prices are going to double. So housing needs to flatten out. Pricing needs to flatten out. But based off all the numbers and the statistics, it looks like housing prices are going to continue to go up and continue to move upwards for the next at least 1 to 3 years. And then after that 3-year mark, then it looks like housing is probably going to flatten out or pricing is going to flatten out a little bit. But no signs point to a crash at all because supply and demand. We just can't build that quickly. and then I'll work on screen share in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty easy. Thoughts on that, Kevin? Are you high today? Is that what's happening with the glasses?
Yes.
Hitting those red eyes again?
I took a nap before this started, and I knew I would get raised if I had these sleepy eyes on stream. So I decided to cover them straight away so I didn't have to deal with the comments.
Sarah, come on, quit being stingy. I'm an economist. I want a breakdown on this. Hey, Ian's got a good spreadsheet for you.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's
I just don't like. I don't like.
Get Big Mama a shirt. All right, Big Mama. Get my email.
Great.
We're sending Big Mama a shirt. Welcome back, Big Mama. I love that. I love it. I love it. We're getting you a shirt, girl. All right, look, I'm gonna put my email in the chat. Big Mama, hit me up.
Oh, you know what?
It's weird to me though because
like space it and all that sort of stuff, so it's not picked up by the bots. Don't do it. Oh, you did it.
Did what?
It's like you got to change it up. You got to like put a 4 for the A or something, or space it out so that the bots don't pick it up.
I mean, I'm not the one that has the bots. You have the bot.
I turned those bots off. I'm talking about the scrapers, the scalpers, man, or scrapers. Scalpers.
I don't know what that means. So I mean, I'll probably get a lot of weird emails. I'm just gonna go to my assistant anyway. So. The Big Mama, thank you, girl. You got it. All right, so we had another good comment here. Sarah, did you come up with that information yet?
I have a nifty. Here, I'll show you.
You know, that's a good point from Steven. So here's what's even better. You ready for this? Leander median home price is higher than Austin proper.
What?
Take that.
That's
I don't
nuts.
Really?
Needs more cowbell. Yes.
We're gonna need some.
More
We're gonna need to see
cowbell.
these facts, Ian. I want to see these facts on paper.
I'm looking. I'll look
So over here, so this is going to be the FHFA house price index. And so on here, you have it split up by region. And you're going to see the national appreciation rates in the different areas. And so in Southwest, West, South, Central, which is where Texas is, you'll see we're actually 12.2. When they averaged all this together, it was 13.2 nationally for some of the others. This was just one of the three ones that put these numbers together. If this is helpful, I don't know. This might be kind of boring to some of you.
I'm totally not bored, but I'm not listening to what you're saying either. Sorry.
He's waiting for my share. That's what it is, which I got.
All right. So anyway, there you go. There's some house price index.
We appreciate it, Sarah.
Yeah. Thank you for the boring information, Sarah.
You're welcome.
I'm just kidding. We asked for it. Hey, we bring you on the channel because you brighten us up. You make Kevin Mullets shine. Chris, yes, I talked about Sky Ridge. There is Parton next to it. The problem with Parton is you have Taylor Morrison in there who is doing all these silent bids. I'm not even going to say who the only builder is in there that you can actually try to build with, because then you're all going to go there and all my clients that are trying to get on those lists aren't going to get them. But there's Taylor Morrison. Who else is in there now? Don't say the H1.
Ooh. Lowland.
Oh, Lennar's in there.
Lowland.
Lennar can kick rocks. Oh gosh, I had a frog in my throat. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I had a client that was going to bid on the Lennar properties in Avanya, and I heard from someone that they went $300,000 to $400,000. They're already listed $950,000 to $1.05 million, and they went $300,000 to $400,000 over list price. That is crazy. Chris, you just lost. Chris, you owe me a shirt. You can't put it in there. You owe me a shirt, Chris.
You owe me a
deduction. You get a deduction. Oh man, just kidding. I'll be honest with you. Highland is by far my favorite builder. By far my favorite builder.
I like them.
Yeah.
Share my data.
Oh, you got data up there? Here we go.
Woohoo!
Not
Ian
boring either.
gets data.
all I'm gonna let you read is the headline. So straight from the Board of Realtors, and then also check this out. Round Rock, Austin.
Whose dog is going crazy? Is that yours, Sarah?
Oh, sorry, it is. Dahlia.
Put her on camera.
Dahlia.
Cedar Park Leander. So I put a video about the Leander Springs project on my channel, and it's getting a lot of I think people really like Leander, but Leander is exploding, and this is one of those things that just validates it. We know.
Ooh, here's a new segment. Here's a new segment. Here you go. Is Leander overrated?
Ooh, overrated. Well, we can't talk about that tonight. We still got to talk about regrets. Come on.
I don't know.
Okay, do you regret buying a home in Leander? There you go.
Do you regret buying a home in Leander? Yes. And is it overrated?
Not if you're selling right now. There's no way you could regret it.
Well, let's say you bought 6 months ago.
Still.
Do you regret it?
Home prices still.
But what if you're trying to buy right now?
It depends on where you're trying to go. But yeah, if you're trying to buy right now, and see, I got to be careful because I have a lot of clients that are calling, I want a house in Leander right now.
Yeah.
Okay. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready to compete? Because Leander right now is one of the hottest, in my opinion, one of the hardest markets to compete easily in. Like to really bring something strong without just going full force. Why is he making noises?
I had to mute myself so I didn't blow everybody out with this ridiculous comment.
You know what? Bastrop is overrated. How about that?
He's never even been.
I like Bastrop. I'm just messing with him.
Hold on. Master Jedi just said you're the heart of the show. He's going to rip the heart out.
I like Bastrop. In fact, I'm actually trying to get some land in Bastrop. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Oh, yeah. Master Jedi will tell you right where to buy next to
I know.
You guys can be neighbors. You guys can try on berets together.
We can't. Look, I put berets on all my emoji.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
All right. So let's get serious here. Hearts and hugs from everyone watches. Yeah. Highland. Yeah. We're talking about Highland. All right. But that's actually not so regrets. People buying in Leander right now. It's crazy, right? I have so many people that reach out to me want to buy in Leander. They want to buy in Liberty Hill now, and they're going up even further to Gerald. Like, are you going to regret buying in Gerald? Are you going to regret buying in Liberty Hill? That's a good question. Sarah, from a mortgage standpoint, are people going to regret buying in Liberty Hill?
I mean, from a mortgage standpoint, I don't know if I can really answer that because they're still going to get in at low rates and get a house, right? But as far as like, if they have to go back to the office, if they have to commute, if they see the value, if they hold it on for 20 plus years and all that, I don't know. I have people that buy there because that's what they can afford and they can find something that's reasonably priced and still get in this market. And I think at the end of the day, that's what's most important to a lot of folks is be able to get something. But as far as that, if they plan on that being their forever home, if they don't live close by and they're going to have to commute a lot, maybe, that could be a regret. But that's definitely people specific.
If everyone has to go back to work, right? Like physically go back to work and the transportation system can't keep up with the growth once that happens, that would be a major regret. But that's anywhere outside of Austin proper.
Yeah, agreed. I wish they would have like a really good light rail system. Like, how you have the DART and the BART. I mean, is it better than what, and forgive me if I don't know as much because I don't travel that way, but
yeah, they have Cap Metro. That's like the only place. Leander, Cedar Park, North Austin.
And that's it, back and forth. If they expanded that though, weren't they talking about expanding that to South, right? To South Park Meadows area or something?
That's the whole thing. That's Jeremy's favorite topic right there.
I agree with this. Keith and Steven, shirts for both of you lads. Email me. The email's up there. Steven and Keith definitely getting shirts. I'm in on that. All right, let's keep rolling. So go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
Apparently we're talking about your favorite topic.
Sarcasm in my eye. Hold on.
You got sarcasm in your eye? Yeah, be careful.
Something like that.
Yeah, Kevin's over here doing Coke deals.
That's why he's got the glasses on. Those are
in the club.
Yeah. Sorry. He's in the club, yeah.
He was just wearing a glove holding his phone. What are you doing?
I didn't even realize he was doing that. Okay, so there was a comment on my YouTube channel that I thought was a great comment. It was about Leander. In fact, was it on this?
So,
on regrets. Jeez, where was it?
We'll talk about this one. Buying too big. Right? Well, I mean, think about that. If you're buying a house right now and you know that you're going to end up returning back to work, or you're buying a house because you just needed something and there was a 4 or even a 5 bedroom available, but you don't need that space. Maybe all your kids have left. I could see that being one.
Yeah.
I could see that being a regret. I haven't personally heard anybody say that, except for one. I have one client that is, but they're downsizing just because everything is crazy, not because they bought 3 years ago. So 2 years ago.
I have heard people where they were so budget conscious that they felt they were too conservative and they bought too small. And then they ended up, they weren't going to get pregnant yet. Like they were going to wait. And then they ended up starting a family sooner than planned. And now they're like, well, no, now we already outgrew our home and now everything's so much more expensive. Like we should have just bought bigger to begin with. But, you know.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Jeremy. I was going to say, Syntax. Stop it. Syntax Writers left a comment. I really like what he just said. We have not talked about that, so I think we should get to that.
Who was it?
The Syntax Writers, the 8:00 p.m. comments.
All right. Yeah, I want to talk about this comment here.
Come back to that. I like that.
Right. So this comment I have up here says, I know a lot of regrets, mostly Leander and Liberty Hill buyers who paid crazy money to be in their houses after January, putting $700,000-800,000 for a 26 to 3,200 square foot standard lot home. And the hoopla of Leander ISD is A+. Most of those schools are in Avery Ranch or Steiner Ranch. The ones that paid for those areas are not even highly rated. So that's actually something that's a good point. Like some of those schools in Liberty Hill are not as rated as well or rated the same as the Leander ISD schools. So is that going to be a regret? And I know a lot of people are buying in Georgetown right now. Georgetown, some of the schools aren't rated the greatest. I mean, obviously, like I've always said, you've got to take some of these ratings with a grain of salt, but and look into them yourself. In fact, somebody who was on the channel a while ago was really railing against Georgetown schools. But yeah, are people and look, and on top of that, if you're buying a new build and your taxes were supposed to be this amount and you're at 3% and now they're like 15 grand for taxes, you're like, whoa, I can't afford this. Are those people going to have regret next year buying in a school district that's not rated that well?
You said, here's your key word in that whole statement.
I don't know. That's a lot
taxes.
Of crap. Yeah, the taxes. People
that are paying X amount, not understanding that they can't put a homestead exemption on their house because they don't live in the house on January 1st, right? If they're buying it now. And so before they get the homestead exemption on there, then the appraiser is going to come out and say, I saw what the appraised values of the homes in the area are going to be. And so next year you can file for homestead. But by that point, you're already paying that increase in property tax. Jeremy tunes out anytime anybody speaks. You see that?
No, sorry. I realized.
I'm so excited.
I'm sorry. I realized I had Eileen on the other day, so I changed like the direction of this because Eileen was on. We were doing an interview with somebody interviewing about something. Anyway, my bad. So you were saying about property taxes.
That was a really good point, Ian.
Thank you, Sarah. And everybody in the comments who care, because that's a big one. If you don't understand that part of it, it will be a regret, maybe a hit in the future. I don't know if it's going to be a major regret, but it's absolutely something you really want to understand. Anybody who's relocating in here or buying a home in the area, your first home.
Kind of an offshoot of that too is that if you have people buying new construction and you haven't talked with your lender about unimproved taxes and improved taxes. And so some people have no idea that their taxes are going to change if they close with unimproved taxes, which means that the tax amount is based off just the dirt. It's not even based off the home being there yet. And I've had people prior to this year that came to me to refinance from other people and said, we can't afford our home anymore because our monthly payment was like $1,200 and now it's like $2,000, or it was $1,200 now $1,800 because they closed with unimproved taxes and had no idea and weren't informed that their prices are going to go up that much. So that's another thing too. If you're getting a new build, know and ask the question, is this based off improved or unimproved? So at least you can be prepared and not have huge shock when those new taxes come out.
Yeah, you're right. And I think you can look up, depending on how long that build process takes, you can usually look up in the tax records whether they're paying unimproved land tax. And
I usually have that, like if it's a client of mine, I walk through that with them up front, and I usually do improve taxes because it prepares them, because if anything, it might go up a little bit from that. And that way they can get used to budgeting and everything else. But you just never know, because not everyone has that conversation. So it's just good to ask if you're under contract now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Completely unrelated. I almost not lost, but delayed a closing today for $5.
Wow. Because of $5?
Because of $5. So, the all of the math has to be absolutely perfect at the closing table, right? Well, the buyers picked a home warranty that was $5 more than the sellers were contributing. So silly.
So why did they delay it though?
Just the time of day.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And then so you have to recalculate it.
Cut off. Yeah. I've almost on a completely other and maybe you guys have crazy stories too. I've had the two craziest deals I've almost ever lost. One was over a riding lawnmower, and the other one was over the number of goats that we're going to convey.
What if one of the goats died? Do they have to buy a new goat?
They're both the same thing. That's probably why they want the goat, so they don't have to cut the grass.
Oh, two different deals.
Yeah, but it's
two different deals.
It's
same purpose.
Landscaping.
Same purpose. Yeah. And by the way, goats cannot be included on non-realty items. They have to have a separate bill of sale and be stated in special provisions, in case you're wondering.
Ooh, special provisions. Didn't know that. You know what's funny? My wife and I were looking at houses in Georgetown about a year and a half ago, and it had goats, which conveyed. So that'd have been fun. We didn't buy it, obviously, but I guess that's not obvious. You'd hear it.
Goats, what are they good for? Absolutely
nothing. Everything. What do you mean?
So, this question's a good question. I would go to greatschools.org or news.com and you can pull this information. You what?
This is exactly what I was talking about. Seeing this right this second. These things exist as long as you execute or are able to execute. There are houses on the market right now. There's like 40 houses that were decreased in price in the last 7 days.
Ooh, that's actually going to a point that Kevin wanted to talk about, which was, are sellers now overpricing their homes and asking for too much?
Yeah.
I can say that I've seen this week, we have 1,900 homes ish still on the market. But most of the ones I'm talking to, they have offers coming in, let's call it maybe 1,750. That's still a healthy amount for what we've seen recently. And so I'm seeing stuff go through the weekend, and but here's the deal. Monday, Tuesday, I don't know if you guys are doing this. I did this all day today, finding stuff that stayed over past, the weekend, and we're calling and writing contracts on them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no reason not to, unless the pricing is off, and then you adjust that accordingly.
That's why I think that right now, of all times, I think is a good time for you, because the pendulum has swung pretty far the other direction. So the first round of people that thought, like what Jeremy said, they've the neighbor listed the house at 400. It sold for 550. Well, neighbor next door says, wow, I can get 550 for my house. So then they list it for 550, and then it doesn't sell for 550. Right. So what I think is the best time to do that, before people get smarter and start averaging these highs and lows into what is our current market value. Now's the time to come in on a 10-day on the market house. I will say though, some of these, like half of these, it's because they are the two things I've noticed on the ones that were still in the market. One, they are not the same condition as some of these others have sold. And so the tail is wagging the dog, the tail being the seller, where the seller's saying, I want to list my house for 550. and the agent is like, sure, I'll do whatever you want, because they think it's just going to sell.
And not explaining the fact that they need to get the house ready actually.
Yeah, they're not ready. They're not professional pictures. They don't look good. They haven't done updates. People are just, whatever has happened to their house, they're just throwing it on the market, and they're asking what the neighbor got on their final value, even though the neighbor had $50,000 in upgrades. So the other thing I've noticed too is a ton of the ones that are still listed that I saw, they back up to major thoroughfares, like what Ian said. So like they're asking what would be the market price, but they also have a major issue, like they back to a railroad track or a major road. And so you're not going to get the same, prevailing market price if you have something glaring like that going on.
So this is a good question. Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I had a question, but you can go ahead with
shoot me your question, and then I'm going to answer this.
Okay. So what about, because this came up after we had all those hailstorms. So what if you're under contract and then you had roof damage from the hail? Like, who's going to pay for that? Because
seller should pay for that.
And if they don't, do you think, so I had a situation where the seller didn't want to pay.
There are buyers that will still buy the house if it's priced appropriately or in an area with high enough demand or something to that effect. But generally the seller should be responsible to take care of it. But that's the thing. Sellers used to help with closing costs. They used to help with this. They used to help with that. And that was one of the regrets that was in some of these articles, is like just kind of having a rollover for the sellers.
Wait a second. So, I missed part of that question. I heard most of it, but like, if the home is under contract and then there's a hail damage to the roof and they're out of option, who's required to fix it?
Yeah, so basically, this specific situation, the appraisal happened after the hail damage, and it came back fine without any repairs needed. And so they, technically they didn't have to fix it to close on the loan.
Right. But
of course, the right thing to do would be to repair it, because his first-time home buyer, he's buying this house, and it was really old too. Like, they needed a new roof, but the seller didn't want to pay the deductible.
I would not have done that. As the seller, I would not have given him a new roof.
Yeah, if you're in the option period, so this is a totally different thing. I agree with Kevin. If you're in the option period and it hails in the option period, now you can negotiate. But if we're outside the option period and I'm the seller's agent, I'm going to say no. You can file a claim once you buy the house. Yeah, and it depends on
probably what you had for breakfast that day too. Sometimes, because like if you're feeling generous, you're like, fine, I'll do it. But what if your deductible is like $5,000?
That's always the question. What's your deductible? How does it hit you long term? And I actually I missed the part that it was during the contract. I thought it was
I thought it was before. Yeah, and they found
and how many hail damage roofs need to be replaced?
Yeah, that's another one. That's another big one.
That's the thing is you got to have I have a really good trusted roofer, and he's super honest. Like, the guy comes out all the time, checks stuff for free, and he'll be super honest. I'd say 1 in 8. He's like, yeah, you're going to have to replace this roof.
Here's what I know. If you can get something for free, you'll still try to get more, right? So obviously anybody buying a house is going to who wouldn't want to buy a house and be like, I get a brand new roof. I get a brand new HVAC system. How old is the water heater? Everybody wants the newest and best because they don't ever want to have to replace it. But if you're a seller and your home was in high demand and there were 30 offers on that property, guess who's not paying for a new roof if the lender's not requiring it? Me, I'm not. And if they want to terminate, I'll take your earnest money and I'll sell it to the next person in line.
Well, the earnest money will pay for the new roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's funny about it, right? Or not funny about it, but that's the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a client that asked me, he's like, hey, if we fall out of contract, if the buyer falls out of contract for whatever reason, what happens then? I'm like, we put it back on the market. We remarket it the same way. And believe it or not, we may sell it for more. So if that happens, it's a lot of headache and time, but you potentially going to make more, especially with this market escalating. So regrets, I don't know. Sarah, answer this question because Aaron's been asking, and Aaron loves you to death. So I'll let you read it too.
Okay, here is a hard situation. I refinanced the house and I didn't know you couldn't refinance with an insurance claim on the property. I've refinanced. Now the lender has to endorse the check. What happens? Yeah, so I don't know how you were able to close on this with an insurance claim, because the process of refinancing, we actually have to get information from your insurance company, and typically they have on there if you currently have a claim out on the property, and typically we won't be able to close until that's been rectified or taken care of. It sounds like you might have like some sort of, maybe they didn't escrow holdback or something for you. I'm not sure, but yes, that is correct. You should not have been able to close on your home with an outstanding claim on the property. And since now that property is the it's the asset for the loan, the lender is probably going to want to endorse that check, and that's why that's part of your question. But
circling back to the thank you, Aaron. I hope that answered your question. Circling back to the list price, I had this question up and now I've lost it. But the question was, should sellers be listing closer to list price or a different price? And my opinion is that you got to understand where prices are. Don't overprice too much, but you can overprice a little bit in this market and be fine. But don't so if trends are 150 grand over and you go, okay, so things are closing right now between 450 and 475, but the offer before that was 150 grand over. So I'm now going to list for 500 or 550. Well, now you put yourself in a position where you're not going to get 550 if things are continuing to go up, because people are going, I don't want to pay another 100 grand on top of 550. Maybe you list at 475. Probably going to get your 475.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I had this conversation with one of my buyer clients and he's like, why aren't these agents listing the houses for what they're closer to what they're selling for? And then we looked at a house that was overpriced and he immediately flipped his coin. He's like, oh, because they like this specific house was a $450,000 house on a good day. Like 3 months ago would have been listed for 450, right? And may have sold for more, but it would have been listed for 450, right? But then they listed for 550. And so the psychological response from the buyer is, I'm not, like Jeremy said, I'm not paying 100 more than that price. Therefore, I don't want to offer anything, because they don't want to come to a seller anymore. Nobody wants to come to a seller right now who are controlling this market and say, hey, I'm going to offer you less the first day on the market. And by the way, I'm going to offer you $50,000 less if you're lucky than what their home is worth, because it's not even worth that much. Like, how do you approach those situations? You just don't put offers in at all. So I think I personally would rather price. I'm continuing to tell my clients to price it the same way I priced it before. I run a CMA, and if I can justify a price with the current CMA pricing, that's the price that we list for, and you'll probably get more.
Exactly. I mean, but the problem in this market right now, you have agents that are going, oh, I need a listing. I'll reduce my commission and listen to whatever you say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
And then you get cell phone picture listing video photos. You get an agent that can't even put the right schools in the description. And then you have all of this stuff that's wrong, right? Because they don't really care. They just need to put it on the market to hopefully sell it. And then it's overpriced. And then you're calling the agent and you're like, hey, and Kevin and I had this conversation earlier today. You're calling the agent going, hey, my client had questions on this property. We showed it. Do you have any offers on it? No. Well, it's been on the market 10 days. Do you have any? Okay. What's the feedback been? What do your clients want? They want the highest net. Okay. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. The price is a little high for what it should sell for. Well, that's where it is. And High Point, I had this agent. It was listed at 705, and I had clients that would kind of be willing to go up to 775. We heard there was other offers from hey, their max is 775 on this property. Well, the sellers want in the 800s. I'm like, okay, were the other offers in the 800s? No. Then is the house worth it? I mean, it's house been on the market 8 days, and you're telling me your clients want in the 800s. You have it listed at 705. How the hell are they going to get in the 800s? That doesn't make sense. Well, a comp over here sold for 800. Yeah, but this isn't the same house.
Because these agents are afraid that if they don't do whatever their client says that they're going to get fired, right? That's the reason they're doing it. But anymore, like, I don't know if it's just because of age or experience or because I don't give a rip anymore. But if one of my clients tells me, hey, this home's listed for $550, I want to put an offer for $4, I just say no. Yeah. I said, I'll do it if you really want me to, but here's the reasons why I think that's a really bad idea. And whereas previously, I think maybe earlier in my career, I would have been like, okay. Oh, let me just write it for 400. And then the listing agent's like, what are you doing? Like, they're not going to take 400. Right. So I think we as agents too need to help be more mindful that we're being hired by people to guide them through this process. So we need to guide them. We collectively need to guide them.
Yes. Expertise is important.
So I do have a story about that. I actually had somebody who had listed a house a while ago. I mean, this was like 5-6 years ago. Listed a house, and I got a wholesaler sent me an offer, and I didn't want to bring it to him, but it's my job, my requirement that I have to bring it to him. So I did, and they said, you know what? You're too old. Don't want to deal with it. We'll take it. I was like, oh. My gosh, blew my mind. That was not supposed to happen. So that 0.01% chance, it did happen. They got it for probably half of what it was worth. If they were to sell that same place today, it would be 250% more. Easy.
Crazy.
Well, the next biggest regret after no regrets for these homeowners was that maintenance and other costs are too high.
Yes.
Next to that was they bought too small of a house. And then next to that was a bad location. So that actually accounts for the majority of the regrets that people had. So, that's one thing. Maintenance and other costs are too high. I guess I don't necessarily understand. Like, what are you expecting with a house?
Well, if they buy a house that's too large because they're trying to plan ahead, and they don't understand that if it's an all-electric home in the state of Texas, that's going to be a problem. It gets hot here. This isn't California.
But do you think they regret? Do you think that if anybody does regret a purchase, these are regrets that could be avoided, though, right? Like, did they not know what questions to ask in the first place?
They probably didn't. I mean, look, how many people just hire a realtor, don't know what to ask, aren't prepared, haven't watched channels like my channel or other out there where they're giving information and they're really ill prepared. And then you have an agent that really, I mean, look, there's a lot of agents that give agents bad names, so we can call them out on this channel, but there's a good amount of agents that just need a paycheck. So they're not necessarily explaining things. And then, I mean, I get a lot of people that call me and they're like, hey, I'm going to get rid of my agent because blah, blah, blah. That's like, did the agent not help you, or are you not listening? Which is it?
It's both.
Yep.
It's both, because we have a lot. I know for a first time home buyer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like you're basically, they're drinking through a fire hose. Are they not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You mean like information overload?
Yeah. With information. Like they're like, they collectively are thinking probably in this order. What am I doing? This is the biggest decision I've ever made. What am I doing? They're also going through a midlife crisis at the exact same time, right?
Everybody is.
So they're not in a good place mentally anyway. Then they don't even know what questions to ask. Then they ask the questions and have a conversation with somebody while they're completely blanked out, not thinking about the response to those answers. They're just nodding their head. And then later on, they're like, well, you didn't tell me that. It's like, well, no, somebody probably did tell you that. You just don't remember, or you weren't invested enough in that process. And maybe that's the same attitude, like the curse of choice. Maybe it's the same thing as like that we collectively don't assign enough serious consequences to our actions, right? Like that we take that home buying is just a thing to do. Like we're doing a thing. Whereas it's a massive financial decision. I think that maybe people aren't taking seriously enough. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think there's a lot of emotion involved too, right? So this is a huge purchase. You're super excited, and it's like getting a new car. How many times, Ian, when you're sitting there buying your Tesla, did you listen to every little thing they told you about your Tesla? On like all the documents? I don't know. There is no thing when you buy a Tesla.
Right. I'll tell you, I probably watched. So I test drove the thing, I don't know, 6-7 times, every model, every version. And then I did the math on how much I would save. And then I watched maybe 50 hours of YouTube videos and went to Tesla's site. So all of that. So yeah, I did a lot of research because I knew exactly what I was getting into. And yes, Master Jedi, I have the cyber.
Yeah, but think about it. Okay, let me challenge you a bit on that. And I don't disagree with you. I just want to challenge you. You knew, what were your choices when you bought that car? What other choices did you have at that time?
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. I said, I know that I want to move in this direction. What are my choices? And my choices, when you compare everything across the board, there really is only one choice. Mm-hmm. When you factor in all the things that I wanted out of a vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
I think for some light of those things, it makes a lot of difference. And that's why I'm thinking collectively.
If somebody's calling me right now saying I want a house in Cedar Park for under $350, there is only one choice.
Yeah.
It's the same conversation. Yeah. Do you want 4 walls and a door and a fence? Maybe not even a fence. Yes.
Does it have a roof?
Yes. Do you want it to be low taxes too?
Again, so we're talking about people not being prepared, but I like that video that guy did on Facebook. We showed it last week where the guy's like, "Oh, it's an apple. You know what it is, right?"
Yes.
Yep. I feel like you there's a lot of that in this market right now, and then there's also, like it's so hard right now because you're really trying very hard. So there's a lot of emotion involved. You're trying to buy that house that you've been trying to buy for whatever, and there's so much emotion involved. You have all these questions, but it's like, okay, here's your chance. You have 2 minutes to make this decision. It's a huge life-saving decision. Are you ready? I was okay. You lost it.
It's gone.
It's gone. Okay, here's the next one.
And it's gone.
So I think like we can get upset. And I wouldn't say we can, say, hey, buyer should have listened to this or listened to that. But again, it is like going through a fire hose. Even right now, today I wrote an offer on a contract for myself with Sarah, and literally my wife's telling me, hey, here's what I'm writing. I'm like, yep, do it, whatever. I didn't listen to anything. I said, do the numbers make sense? Yes, write the contract. Here's where we're putting the offer. Okay, whatever, Eileen, do it. And so that's the thing is like, our buyers like, hey, whatever sounds good in a contract, let's do it. And then they don't realize what they're writing in the future. Now I've done contracts. So like pretty much what she's telling me, I'm like, I've heard this a million times.
That's the other part of it. The other part of it is, hey, you, me, Kevin, and Sarah. Sarah's probably seen 4 times the amount of contracts than we have, but we've written 100 contracts easily. So we know what not to, or our job is to help guide you in that decision. But yeah, if you're just kind of going it alone or walking up to a builder and you're signing for a $250,000 lot and you have no idea what's going to be built behind it, well, that's scary.
Definitely.
That's the way I look at it is I need to pull up the way that it looks on the map, like the map areas. So like, okay, you come into the market and you need a mode of transportation, right? Like this is a generalization, but you need a mode of transportation. How quickly can you move from I need a mode of transportation to I need a car, right? Or I need a mode of transportation and I need a truck. Like you can move from that one decision to another very, very quickly. But imagine you went from I don't know where I'm living to I need to go to Austin to I need to buy a house. And then you're talking about what kind of house, what size of house, how many bedrooms, how many square feet, what zip code or what city. And then it's not just the cities. Like we say, hey, 78745 is a good zip code. Okay. In 78745, there are like 27 distinct neighborhoods. Like, and you might not like one street versus another street. That's why I'm saying the regrets, I personally feel like the regrets are because people aren't just spending any time whatsoever invested in the actual details of this decision. And I have had clients tell me, I say, you need to review this contract. If there's anything that you don't understand, you need to let me know. And I do recommend that you have a lawyer review it as well. And I've had people come back to me and say, well, I didn't know that was in the contract. I didn't know I was doing that, or I didn't know I was signing that. It's like, because I don't think people generally take this as serious as they need to. I know I'm broken record on that, but that's just the way I feel.
Well, it's the biggest debt you're probably ever going to have in your life. And I know that's a weird way of looking at it because it's a big, amazing purchase. But what I usually tell people too is I'm here to help manage the biggest debt you'll ever have in your life and making sure the financing on that makes sense for you, not just right now, but long term. And that's super important. But I agree with you. Like there's all these costs that a lot of people don't realize, especially moving to Texas, like propane, gas, natural, that stuff matters. A lot of people don't even know until they move in and they're like, oh crap. Like now I have like, air conditioning, like you were saying, out here it gets hot. You run your AC all the time. It's not, I have family in California that have like a window unit.
Yeah, they don't have AC out there, right?
Yeah.
I haven't had one person say they regret moving to Austin though.
Right.
I've seen people leaving.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that they regretted it, but they're definitely over it.
I have people looking at other places because they just can't rationalize in their heads like the prices now.
Yeah, if they were waiting for the bell curve, they wanted to catch it early, but all of a sudden they realized that we're halfway up and it's still rising. What are you laughing at, Jeremy?
We're still giving away t-shirts, and Master Jedi, you finally did it. The night group is second to none. Not even the Pope or Gandhi. Master Jedi, you win. There you go. That's like the fourth t-shirt we've given away today. Shoot me. I got your email. I'll shoot you an email.
For Dinosaur D, they're over Austin and the increase in prices and congestion.
I don't think traffic's that bad.
No, I don't either. But
yeah.
It's all perspective, right? It's all relative to what you're used to. If you lived in Iowa, well, there's nothing there.
I mean, there's corn.
Oh, Iowa? No, don't even get me started. My brother lives in Cedar Rapids. Y'all, I don't understand why anybody lives in that state. I'm sorry. It is so cold in the winter. And I thought Illinois was bad. It is so cold up there. It is so cold.
There's lots of corn, but corn is used, that's scraps for other animals, I mean, I know.
I take that back though, because everybody feels like, I can't assume that everybody feels the same way that we do about certain things. And like for many people, the reason they stay in the places that they are, even though to us it may seem like a silly decision, is because they've prioritized things like, family. They want to stay near the people that they know and love. And a lot of times people, that's the reason they don't ever leave the geographic area that they're in, is because of that. I've noticed in Austin, a lot of the folks that I know here do not have family here. They just don't. Yeah. They're here because they love it and they want to be here.
They love it and they want to be here, or they got a job or see an opportunity right, for growth or to capitalize on that opportunity.
But you can't assume that everybody has that same mentality and mindset. And that's good. I mean, otherwise everyone in the world would move to Austin. And I don't want that to sound like a conceited thing, but it's just such a great place. I really believe it.
Aww. Well, if you want to do it in the future, you can reach out.
Refinance again.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
To your point, I've been here 9 years, 10 years. Jesus, I don't even know how long I've been here. And people continue to ask me, like, you moved from California. Do you miss California? Yes, I miss the food in Southern California. I miss being able to drive 20 minutes to the beach or go skiing. But the rest of it, I don't miss. I grew up in the Central Valley in California, and it's nothing but farm animals, farms, and terrible air quality. So living here versus there is a dream. And I love San Diego, but to be honest with you, I've lived in San Diego and Phoenix, or two other like major cities I lived in. I love both of those cities. They're both different, but I feel like, to me, Austin is like both of those combined in a more relaxed atmosphere. And that's why it feels like home to me. And that's not because I sell real estate. And I thought about this the other day. I was like, if I'm going to move anywhere and sell real estate somewhere else, where do I go? And it's South Padre. Like, I'm not leaving Texas. So anyway.
I've already decided what I'm going to do if I ever lose my real estate license, and I will not discuss that on the live stream.
Nice.
I'm going to work at the UPS store. Just kidding.
That's fine.
Actually, talking about California, there was an article that came out from Mark Fleming, who's the chief economist out of First American. And out of the entire United States, California is the only state that is overvalued. And that's based off of where the price exceeds, the buying power. So out of everywhere in the country right now, per the numbers, California is the one place that is actually overvalued.
I think that's a good consideration when we're talking about overvalued. So we were talking about Iowa earlier, right? You said, why would anybody live there? I think people would live there if they only had $60,000 to buy a double wide and 10 acres of land.
Yeah.
Right. It does make sense for some people, especially if their skill set doesn't compete with the.
Yeah, you're right.
Value.
No, you're right. You're right. Or if you're working for John Deere, maybe that's the other reason.
There you go. They're headquartered out there, I'd assume.
Yeah, they're in Des Moines,
Iowa. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's a big company, of course.
It
but
is.
I still own property in Illinois, which I
remember. We're talking about that. Remember?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because it is,
Ooh.
It's very interesting because I do have a broad perspective. I grew up in Illinois. I lived in the middle of nowhere. I saw what this is like, and you're right. The town that I lived in, the doctor lived in like a $235,000 house.
I know. You're like, what?
It was like by far the nicest house in all of town, and no one could even remotely touch that. Like the next house in line would be half that price.
Yep.
Right? But even then, you're like, oh my gosh, a $200,000 house. Yep. That's crazy. And they're like, oh my gosh, a $200,000 house. People that are here working, that are working at Starbucks or working at, in food service. That's the home that they have to buy. I'm sympathetic towards that. That at some point it does come in. There comes a decision where you have to say, okay, I really want to be in a place that I really love, but I just can't afford to have this lifestyle.
Right. That's the key right there. If you want a lifestyle that allows you to be expansive and exploring and travel and all that, buy a house in Iowa. It's great. Yeah. Buy a house in where else? Belton or something, right?
Belton.
There's some expensive homes in Iowa. I'll get off Iowa. My husband lived there for a little bit, and there's actually he lived near Ames, and there's actually some big castle I guess that's anywhere. But anyway, I was
C-suite at John Deere. There you go.
But Jeremy,
who said that? Curly-haired twin sisters. See that comment? 835.
I'll have to get to it. I'm still at 830 to Steven's question. So Steven, this is a great question. Have y'all had clients or heard of buyers suing builders for terminating contracts and putting homes back on the market for much more? I'm curious if those victims have gotten redemption. So I talked about this on
last week.
Well, we talked about this last week, but I also put it in a video recently because those people in Lago Vista who finally made the news. I feel like if this happens to you, it's embarrassing, right? So here's the same thing, all this victim mentality. Well, not victim mentality, but victims typically don't like to speak up, right? Yeah. Right. So whether you're a victim of whatever, don't like to speak up. Yeah. But if more people were to start speaking up about this and this were to start seeing the light of day, there'd be a lot more lawsuits for this. I think this is something that needs to be talked about. So if this does happen to you, I've had a lot of people actually email me and tell me hey, this happened to me. It's actually quite a few people. And they're like, I didn't have an agent, whatever. Or they had an agent and said, hey, I saw this, I had this happen. And this scenario happens more than I can account, is that for some reason, the lender will say, oh, you didn't get approval. We're not approving you. And then they'll have even though they'll go, look, I have other lenders. These lenders say I'm pre-approved. Nope, you can't make closing on time with this lender who you were going to use. We're not going to extend. We're putting on for this.
Wait a second. Who was that? Who was that?
It was that was at Lago Vista. That was Coventry that did that.
Okay.
But I've had other people with other builders do that.
Okay.
I don't want to blow up their spot, but I've even had that with Sarah, where one of our clients was with Milestone. Oh, I blew up your spot, Milestone. That they were trying to do that to my client. And we ended up doing cash.
It's happening. It's actually happening. And I kid you not, literally right now in a situation that I'm in where the builder's rep, my clients decided not to use the builder's lender. And the builder is constantly pressuring my clients to provide a letter of conditional approval, not a pre-approval.
Yep.
A letter of conditional approval.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that even mean? The lender comes back and writes and says, these people are approved. We're good. We're good to go. We're going to close on time. It's not a problem. Then they reply back, we need a letter of conditional approval. I'm like, what even is that? Like, you want me to put that email in a letter and have it notarized?
So I had this happen where, because I have a client that's with a builder and they're going with us. They're not going with the builder lender. And I actually had the sales agent email me and say, this is what we want. We want the actual letter from your underwriter. And we want this, this, and this. And it's like they kept giving us hoops thinking that we were going to say no. And I mean, this isn't my first rodeo. So I was like, sure, this is what you want. We have this done. We're good. So I like snapshot like the first of it. And I was like, here you go. Underwriter of conditional approval. We're good. So, I mean, that's, if you need, Kevin, we can talk about it and I can kind of help and assist. I'm more than happy to so you can relay to who you're using what they need. So your people are good, but usually they're doing that. And then now I'm having a couple of the builders ask for TBD approvals, which we're happy to do if that's necessary, because we're going to do whatever needs to happen to get the loan done. But yes, they're having you jump through hoops.
It's because they make more money by using the lender. They get all the kickbacks from the lender.
Right.
They're not telling you that, right?
No.
They don't tell you that, hey, while we're giving you $7,000 towards closing costs, by the way, we're still screwing you. And if you actually do the numbers, like I've had several clients do this, right? Like, let's do the numbers and see how much they're actually giving you. And we'll run numbers with Sarah. And it's like $1,500, maybe $1,300. So you're getting $1,300 and you're having to buy down points. You're not actually getting, so they're like, okay, you're going to get 3.25 smoking deal. It reminded me of those stupid car people, you know,
buy
like
here, pay here.
Yeah, here you go. Like, oh man, I just had a Eastbound and Down, the Will Ferrell. Like, that reminds me of like a lot of these people. Yeah, we're gonna get this slamming deal, and then the next thing you know, like you're barely making, like it's like $1,300. The builder is not paying title policy. You are, which in Texas, pretty much, other than in this market right now, the seller typically pays title policy typically. So they're getting away with you paying title policy. And really at the end of the day, you're saving $1,500, right, Sarah?
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
Danny.
No, I'm agreeing. I mean, it's true. Like and that's why we do the side by side. And I think at the end of the day, it's more important you have a lender that knows that cares more about you as a client, and you're not a transaction and you're not just a number. You know, when you go through those other in-house lenders, I mean, you're just a number and they don't care about what happens after the fact. But I follow up with clients. I care. I want to be there with you because I know this isn't going to be your first house.
It just sucks to me because I can already see the writing on the wall that they're trying to make it seem like my clients have been uncooperative. So that when it does come down to it, if they for some reason don't close on time, then they'll be like, I'm sorry, you violated the contract. We're going to have to terminate this contract because you're in breach of contract. Because this is the same contract I was telling you where they said if there's any unresolved dispute, the seller can, being the builder, can unilaterally terminate the contract. So that's the kind of stuff that worries me. And I listen, y'all can do what you want. And I'm not saying it's a bad reason, but those things that actually make me more leery to buy from a builder right now. And I promise you, if my clients are presented with the opportunity to buy a new build where they're signing a contract with an unlimited floating ceiling for a price by the time of closing, I will highly advise them not to sign that kind of stuff right now. And I did talk to a builder the other day that said that they, on Tuesday, when was that? Last Friday, maybe the day before, they had a builder industry meeting. And the general consensus with these builders right now in the industry meeting is that they're totally fine pushing the envelope to the next level of greed.
Who was this?
A builder that I met with that I will not name mentioned that the day before in the builder industry meeting, because they all meet, right? Which I don't know how that's legal, because imagine the realtors getting together. Yeah, imagine realtors getting together and deciding. It's the first lesson I learned in real estate school. That's that you cannot get together with other realtors.
code of ethics, and we have to. It's illegal for us to do that. Or
Yeah, but the builders get away with it because they're private entities, they're principals on the deal, and their agents, their selling agents typically, if you don't know this, are not real estate agents, and they're not required to be. They can sell homes in on behalf of the principal and don't have to be licensed agents.
You said not required to be. Most times they're asked not to be.
Right, because then they can be held accountable to it.
Status.
But all this to say, the builders are getting together, and I believe, it wasn't explicitly stated, but it was implied that they're happy milking this for all that they can get right now. And they're looking for the new opportunities to make more and more money while the getting is good right now. And that's at the expense of us as an industry and of you as the buyer. I promise you that's what it comes down to.
So there's a new development coming up. I'm not going to say much about it other than there's a new development coming up. I've been talking with somebody that's working on the project, somebody I know very well and trust very well. And they, so I was asking about some of these builders and what they're doing and some of the back end stuff they're doing with realtors. I won't get involved. I don't want to talk about that because this isn't about agents. This is about you. But some of the stuff they're pulling on agents on the back end is a little shady. And I was like, what are you seeing with development you have coming? That way I can prepare for it, right? Because I'm going to bring clients to you. And he goes, I have specifically told my developer, we will not do that, what they're doing to agents, because we do not want to F with the realtor community. What you're doing, what all these builders are doing, and he's been in those meetings too, his developer has been in those meetings, and he's listening what they're saying. But what he's telling his developer is like, look, don't mess with the realtor community because at some point you are going to need them, and they do not have short memories. They would rather go somewhere that treated them well and take their client somewhere else. Now, look, that's whatever, if you want to call that steering or whatever, but that's not what we're doing. But we don't have, we have the right to take you everywhere, or we represent you to take you everywhere and where you want to go. But we will be blatantly honest with you about how we feel about that builder, what we've experienced in the past. And so and that's just not me. That's all agents. They're not going to sugarcoat it. All the good ones, I hope. But
all the ones that have actually done with builders.
But he's specifically telling his developer, do not treat realtors this way, because we will feel it on the back end 2-3 years from now when our development's not done. We will be begging realtors to bring us. And this is not me saying this. This is literally somebody telling their developer, don't mess with the real estate community. We can do some things, but we don't want to step on that toe.
I think that's great, because it's like you have to look long term, right? So I think that so many people are so short-sighted, especially the builder community, because they just see all this money rolling in. And it's true. Our business is cyclical. It's not going to be like this forever. And realtors, you're the ones that bring the business in typically. So I just think that that's so crazy that so many people are getting on bandwagon to, I won't say do you wrong, but
well, do you guys think that the builders are artificially restricting inventory right now to keep
100% yes,
to keep supply low and keep prices high?
I think that's part of it. But also I think the developers and also some of the city permitting process, I think all of it together is kind of up against consumers at the moment.
I can't say that every single one is, because I know there's a lot of builders that are still not pulling some of the crap on the back end, right? Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of things at play. So I could say it's 100% the builder's fault. And I've done that. I've done that on the channel. I've called out builders. There are still supply issues. So that is some of the problem. There are still, getting people to actually work is a problem. I just went to a restaurant that I was dying to finally go to. And the day we got there on Sunday, they closed for good, saying that they could not get enough staff to stay open. So they had to close permanently.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Jeremy, that restaurant sucks anyway. So you're not missing anything.
Man.
You talking about Pious Pizza?
No. Oh, did you just say, I've
never been there. I'm just messing with you.
Hold on, everybody. We are removing from stream. Bye. Okay.
Oh wait, I'm messed up now because he's in a different spot.
Redemption.
My feng shui is all messed up now. I can't even look at the screen.
Yeah, and I think going back to the builder thing, yes, I think that is part of it, but there are other things at play as well. So I can't say it's 100% the builder's fault, but there are builders specifically holding things back. Taylor Morrison is probably the biggest offender in my opinion. Pull up look, there's a listing that just hit. I'll put it in the chat. Go look at it and then do the math on what they're putting in there. I'll send it to you. And it is despicable what they did on that. So I'll put it in the private chat so you can see it.
Hey, I didn't know this before, but I noticed now that Lennar removed their Village Builders.
Yes, that's been something I've been working on for a while.
So they're all of their subsidiaries are now Lennar straight up.
Yeah, it's supposed to be at the beginning of the year. It just takes a while.
I'm not sure that was a good idea.
Right.
No, it's not.
Right. You have to have Porsche, VW, and what else do they have? You can't just have one brand.
Yeah. Imagine if you walked into Banana Republic and it was called Old Navy Plus.
Old Navy and Gap. Yeah. Yep.
Old Navy Premium.
We're actually the same. No.
Old Navy Blue Label. No, it just doesn't hit the same. I'm sorry.
I know that you had highlighted a comment from Viviana, and I didn't want to sound like I was ignoring it. It was
Answer that.
It was a good one.
Yeah. And she was saying like, Sarah, have you had experience with clients who were pre-approved for a new build and then 60 days before closing didn't qualify due to increase in property taxes and increase in rates? I actually haven't personally had this happen because typically when I pre-approve somebody, I make sure that we have a little cushion in there and I don't max people out. I think it's really important that so everyone has a different perspective. My perspective when I work with a client is to make sure that we have some wiggle room because I know rates are going to fluctuate and taxes could fluctuate. So I would say if you are ever in a situation like that, always where that lender you're working with says that you can't get approved anymore, shop around and go to someone else and see if they can make it work for you. Or if you are at the beginning stages of a process, make sure, don't max out your budget. Don't just see, I want the maximum home I can get, because you do run that risk of possibly not qualifying if you can't pay down debt to get your debt to income down or do something else to make those numbers work for you since you are on that long waiting period for your home to be finished.
Marvelous Marva, I want to hear from you in the chat. What happened with Taylor Morrison and Lennar? I want to hear your experience.
Yeah, I'm curious about
that. Taylor Morrison is by far my least favorite builder right now. They build quality product, but what they're doing to clients, what they're doing to agents, I think is despicable. Lennar, I've never been a fan of Lennar per se. I've done lots of deals with Lennar. Lennar is losing favor with me very quickly, especially that they've moved these bids. They're doing a lot of things in the back end to kind of, basically they're trying to get people to not use realtors, which
they've been doing that for years.
They've been doing that for years, but now they're really pushing it hard.
Yeah.
So.
They also did say that this was one of the things that the builder was telling me, because we were talking about their agents selling. And I also think it's because the sales agents for the builders are kind of struggling too. Because imagine going to your job every single day and you have nothing to sell. You're supposed to sit in a model home 5 days a week for 8 hours a day, and you can't even sell anything.
Well, that's why there's so much turnover in the industry. I don't know if you know, I've seen so many builder reps that I had solid relationships with. Hey, do you have something? They're like, yeah, I don't work there anymore. Oh, right. middle of construction for clients. They're just gone. It's crazy.
But imagine not being able to sell. Like, for their standpoint, they're in the same boat we are, where we're writing 20 offers for every offer we get accepted, right? They're closing nothing because the builder has nothing to offer people. And so I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to defend them. I'm just saying, like, I'm seeing it from other people's standpoints, except the builders. They're a-holes, right?
That is crazy. Look at this.
This is exactly what I'm seeing.
And I hate that they put the fear in so many people because I know that some clients I work with that are under new construction, they're like, are we going to close on time? Like they're telling me, and they like lay it on thick. Some of these builders or sales reps saying, oh, you really shouldn't use an outside person. You're not going to close on time and you're going to have all these fees or you could lose the house. And it's like, if you have a good person that you trust, you can stick with them. They'll know that deadline. They'll close you on time. But that's awful that they're doing these fear tactics. I mean, everything's scary enough, right? Especially if you're a first-time home buyer, but even if you're not.
It's just such, yeah, exactly. It's such a tough time. You know, I post a lot of questions and people be like, oh, I bought in November, December, January, February. And I'm like, yeah, but like March, April is when things took, you know, January, February, things got tough. March, April is when these builders started implementing some of this BS. And I talked about this in my last video. So one point I want to make on this. So before, keep your thought, Ian, don't lose it.
Yeah.
But Kevin said something about what they're doing, and we all talked about what they're doing to builder reps. I personally saw there were some things happen on a contract I just wrote the other day. And so I text the rep. I'm like, man, this sucks that you guys did this to me. Like, whatever, like it is what it is, but you know, I don't appreciate it, whatever. And her response is back, they're about to do the same thing to me. Don't worry about it. I shit you not. The very next day, hey, the email came out. They're reducing all my pay. I'm going to be making less. I'm in the middle of all this. I'm building a house myself, and this sucks. I'm going to get paid less for all the hard work I'm putting in. They're right. She was writing 10 contracts that week.
Mm-hmm.
She was writing 10 contracts for the builder, and they're reducing her fees.
Yep.
Like what they're paying their reps. So yeah, it sucks. And so it's not just us, but builder reps are getting, so they're trying to basically, and what she said to me is like builder reps or builders just want to go to an online model where you do everything online, just like Tesla. They want to get rid of all of the other people.
So my point, I wanted to shout out to Rob. Rob comes to our channel every single week, and we all know he represents a builder, and he's here, he's learning, he's engaging. I'm sure he's bringing this to his leadership team, and he's going through struggles like we are. And as far as builders go, from what I remember, last time I've done deals with his builder, there was no preferred lender. You bring who you want. They didn't have that, they weren't bashing agents. I don't know what it's like today. And he's always saying, hey, these are the new developments. So I want to shout out that I appreciate you, Rob. I appreciate you coming on this channel and sharing with us and cheering us on.
And I appreciate the times that you reached out and said, hey, we have stuff coming up, bring us clients. Because that's what this business used to be, right? It used to be like builder reps going, hey, I'm going to reach out to all the agents that do business and let them know that I have stuff coming up, because they'll bring clients through and we'll treat them well and we'll treat their clients well, whether it's whatever builder it is, right? Mm-hmm. They're not doing that anymore because they know they can market stuff they don't have.
Yep.
They market stuff they don't have. So they know people are moving here. So they market stuff they don't have to put people on these lists. And then when they get on the list, they go, hey, by the way, we have 2 homes hitting the market. If you get pre-approved with our lender and write your highest and best offer, you're going to get a home.
Half of my meetings, I would say half of my meetings with people, if I do Zoom calls with people that are looking to buy a new build, are me explaining that these homes don't exist. They're just fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It's so important. People don't get that.
There's still a sign on 290 that says Highland Homes building in High Point for the high 400s. I'm like,
yeah. That is not happening. Yeah, I still see signs for 200,000, for 300,000. It's not happening.
No, or that they even have anything.
The cost of removing the signs, it's free advertising. They probably own the, paid monthly for the land, so it's good. Like, I understand that.
We need to get Rob,
but it's easy to change a general.
We need to get Rob
sign.
a Real Migos shirt and have him wear it into the office.
I actually love that. That's a really good idea.
We can put the KB logo on it and everything.
With as many super chats as Rob has given, I think we should just give Rob a shirt.
All right, Rob.
It could be a conversation.
Rob, reaching out to you, sending you a shirt. Got to wear it in the office though.
You got to wear it with a picture in front of the model. Boom.
Yes, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome in front of the model. Done. Hey, so hold on. You're in Hutto now. I've actually. Oh wait, is our motto? I thought it said Hutto. Never mind.
Governor.
And here's the thing: is I back in the day, I would say 4 or 5 years ago, when I look at KB, I would tell people, yeah, here's my tiers of builders, and KB was on the lower dollar amount tier.
Yep.
But now that and on that tier was Lennar, was DR Horton, was Pacesetter, was other ones. And to my knowledge, and Rob, correct me, KB is probably one of the only ones right now not doing bids.
KB in my mind was Kia. When you think of cars, and look at Kia today. Have you seen that Telluride?
Yeah, but have you seen that?
I'm just saying, it's a nice car.
Have you seen that?
I can't
ugly minivan that they just did.
I'm just saying, you used to buy Kia because of the price, but because of you're being economical, and they had a great warranty. That's why you used to buy Kia, and now it's like, no, it's a nice car.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with that.
So there you go. If you're looking to build, call one of us and have us go help you get a contract with Rob. No bids. See, and that's
if you tell Rob that you heard from him, or you found him through Real Migos, he'll get you a shirt.
Yeah.
I think that's
and a mug. Yeah. There was a quote. Oh, here we go. So Braun Holmes sent out an email saying, make sure you have your lender lined up in case we need to close in 30 days. On the plus side, they only wrote they will guarantee our original contract price. I haven't done a deal with Braun in a while. Braun, whatever you want to call it. Have you had good or bad experience with them recently? It's a good question. Because I know they had that new neighborhood in Southeast Austin, Cloverleaf. And I actually did a live an Instagram chat in there or whatever. Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, my last was Oaks at San Gabriel, and it's been a while. I haven't had anything recent with Braun.
Just wait lists. All right, let's get on the wait list. If you want a cool house, we're going to get on the wait list with Rob. Let's go.
Look what Lex put.
Let's play a game. If I were a builder, what would I do?
Kid here.
If you were a builder, what would you do?
Well, look.
So easy answer to me, I would do whatever I can to strengthen the relationships, because this will turn around, but I'd also save, right? Like anywhere that you can lower costs, but not be, you can be frugal and not be cheap. You can be careful with how you're spending, but you can't let go of those relationships, because like Jeremy says, week after week after week, and maybe even more so in his videos, these relationships are going to turn around to bite the builders that are playing games. I really think that's going to happen.
But okay, I don't disagree with that. I'm playing devil's advocate, obviously. Which
Sure,
you can't
of course.
Does it really matter though? Because they're going to sell the homes anyway. So like, what if their goal is actually to piss off the realtor community, and then they get all the commission, they get all the leads directly anyway?
Sure. That's interesting, because now who are they going against? Like who becomes their competition? Realtors become their competition.
Well, this guy that I showed this property to, what was it? The apartment. I looked at an apartment earlier for a client. Yeah. That client additionally called the apartment complex, and I didn't know had made an appointment with and I said, hey, if my client calls, then this is their name. And he's like, his entire demeanor changed.
Yes. I had that happen all the time.
He's like, I've already scheduled an appointment. Well, he didn't say one word on the walk back from showing that unit. And we got back and he's like, you need to go online and register your client. That's all he told me.
Yeah.
That's all he told me.
Did you fill out a guest card?
He was happy with me.
In there with him.
He was happy with me until he found out that he wasn't going to get the entire commission from that deal.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he was pissed.
Yep.
Right. I just think my theory is that the builders, because I believe that this is the way greedy people work anyway, is the builders are like, you know what? We're going to get while the getting's good anyway. We really don't care if we insult a few people in the realtor community. because we're still going to sell these homes for years. So let's just do whatever we can in the meantime to make more money. I just think that that's what they're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why does my skin look so red?
Contrast off the green. I don't know.
Maybe
it's my mic on your screen showing on your face, bouncing off your face.
I look like my blood pressure is like 200 over 160.
Yeah, this topic's getting you going.
Yeah. It's that shirt,
I promise my skin's not red. I'm
not too much.
weird.
So can we answer a question for Mike? Mike asked, and he asked this a while back, and I'm sorry that we didn't get to it. What is happening with the VA loans for veterans? I think
Yes. Oh, I wrote that down. I wrote it down. Sorry.
Thanks,
Sarah.
Joel. I'll talk about VA homes. I just wanted to say thanks, Joel.
Go ahead.
Oh, am I muted now?
I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out where the echo's coming from.
I have headset. I have earbuds in, so hopefully it's not all.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So with VA homes, like I don't know exactly what the whole question of that is, like the context of like what exactly your question is about what's happening with VA homes. I will say in the Austin area where it's gotten really competitive, a lot of sellers aren't accepting, and you guys can speak to this too. A lot of sellers aren't accepting VA because you can't do appraisal waivers. And they think that it's going to have a harder inspection and longer close times. And so a lot of my VA folks, we've had to qualify as a conventional loan, so they have some sort of option if they want to be in the immediate Austin surrounding area. Now, I do still do VA loans, and they've had some luck outside of the Austin area. In Killeen, especially, but I have this poor client in Killeen, second home, and didn't make value. And the problem is, if the seller doesn't want to make up the difference, then they have to back out, and they're out of luck, and then they pay for appraisal and everything else, and they're done. But VA loans still exist; they're still here. It's just harder because not a lot of sellers are accepting those offers right now. Are y'all seeing the same thing?
Yeah, I had a client get a property, and in the process of writing the contract, the not VA was Scott Felder. As we were writing the contract, the rep goes, "Oh yeah, the guy that was going to buy this property is VA, but we rose the price so much that he couldn't afford it anymore. This is VA." I'm like, well, now I feel like a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually surprised. I had one.
Hey, Linda, Lady Migo. Get Chris a shirt. Get Chris a shirt. I love that. Get Chris a shirt. Chris, email me. You're getting a shirt.
But to answer your question, Chris, yes. So FHA 203K is a type of loan that you get for a purchase rehab loan. There's Fannie Mae home style as well. And honestly, I don't know anyone that's accepting those right now. So the best bet is to purchase a home and then do a refinance with a 203K or a home style. Because basically the 203K loans, it usually takes about 60 days to close those because it's a lot of work. Because after you go under contract, you have to find what contractors you're using. You have to get detailed bids, and you have to do that before the appraisal's done. And a lot of times, especially in this, it's hard enough to find, contractors to do any work right now. And they have to do, especially on a 203K, they have to do that work within 6 months. And that's almost impossible right now to get someone to commit to that and meet those deadlines. So my recommendation is if you're able to buy the home, like conventional or something else, which granted, if you're looking at FHA, it's probably not the case. But if you need FHA 203K, talk to a lender. But I don't know, again, if you're in an area like ours, who's accepting those deals.
You will not get it. My opinion is that you won't get an FHA deal done at all for a long time. You certainly aren't going to get a fixer-upper because if it's appropriately priced in a neighborhood that has high demand that's worth fixing up, I promise you there's like 20 people with cash that are ready to buy that house. I feel like the 203Bs, I have not done one because there's never a situation where in this market it can be justified.
Pretty solid. That's funny.
Lender Lady Nico.
Oh, yeah, Lender.
I think we found our nickname.
I think we might have found our fourth Migo, by the way.
Lender Lady Migo.
Lender Lady Migo. I think we might have found her. Yeah. You're gonna have to send me that check though, Sarah. I'm just kidding. Nobody on this channel pays me to be on here. I promise you. All right. So Steven says, yeah, some of these builders are publicly held companies that try to maximize shareholders' value, but what about their treatment, people in corporate governance? Those companies do not do good and thrive. Sweet.
But you know what? Brokers are just as responsible for that as well. Our broker has a public trading responsibility, right, to shareholders. So I'm always mindful of that for people that I do work for, because I've only ever worked for folks that have been. Well, is that true? No, half the brokers I've worked for have been publicly traded companies, and I can tell you that even brokers have a bent for maximizing shareholder value at the expense of other things. I'm going to say. I don't understand. Our realtors trying to get theirs while the going is good, and pissing off other realtors in the process. Look, bro.
No, well, I think what
that's never changed.
Yeah, that's always going to be the case. I think Silverman is somebody who a couple months or a few weeks back had said something like, "Why can't the realtors that are doing really well share the wealth?" I think that was him that left that comment. Like if you're doing 100 deals, why not give some deals to people that are doing 3 deals? And it goes back to a lot of the things we said. Just because you don't have the experience doesn't mean you hand off a client to this other person. That's one thing. Because they still have to take care of the people. And if they can't take care of them, then you're actually hurting your reputation. Now you're hurting that client and possibly hurting that realtor's career if you just hand them somebody that they can't handle.
I do owe you a text message, by the way.
Somebody said that, and I got a little worked up on that. Sorry. I don't mean to blame you if it wasn't you. I'm so sorry. I don't like being accusatory.
Silver, I do owe you a text message, by the way, just so I haven't forgot about you. Are realtors trying to maximize profits? I mean, this is a complicated question. Maximize profits for whom?
Right.
For ourselves? Like, bro, if I could maximize my profits right now, then I would have more of my contracts be accepted. You don't think we're busting our ass trying to get we're working hard right now. And honestly, in many cases, like I'm advising clients not to go to certain levels. I don't want them to be in a situation. So no, I don't think they're maximizing profits. I really don't. I think I think the good ones are still doing what's right for their clients and making less money than they could. One of my good friends,
especially working with some of these builders.
Yeah, one of my good friends who's a very successful agent in this business at the beginning of this BS said to me, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And she's very successful. She's like, I don't know if I can spend 40 hours on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday busting my ass to make $0 because then you just don't know when it's going to come from. So this is where people, it's a more complicated question. Like, who's responsible for the pricing? Is it the realtor? Is it the seller? Is it the buyer? Is it the builder? Is it the lender? Like, who's responsible for the prices being where they are right now?
If I was maximizing my profit, you would never see me. You would never talk to me. That is a true statement. Think about it, right? Like, seriously, think about it. I try to spend time with people because that is part of my value proposition. I want to be there for people. As soon as you're not, they're not either.
Yeah.
But I could have VAs calling them, setting everything up, and they never see me. And they just have, I just have my face on a billboard and they just call the number, and then I'm never actually the one that's helping them. I could do that, but I don't do that. That's not how I operate. I don't think I know that's not how any of us operate. You get to see us. You get to talk to us. Shoot, we're on here doing this for our clients and others.
For you, for free. I mean, how many people say, hey, if it wasn't for this channel, I wouldn't have gotten this house or whatever. We do this for free. Like, this is all for free. And then what irritates me is I get people that email me and they're like, hey, by the way, I want free questions or free answers about this neighborhood. Give me all the free details. I have tons of clients I help. Like, if you're going to ask me, just email me or call me on a Sunday morning just to get an answer about a neighborhood so you can go off and do it yourself, you're taking my time away from my family. So that frustrates me for sure. But we give out a ton of free information on this channel that people thank us for and that we never see a dollar from. So that, yeah. So and somebody wrote that the market, realtors weren't built for this market. Why do you think the 4 of us are on this channel every week giving people information? We're built for this. We know what we're doing, but there's a lot of agents who don't.
You know, it's funny too. Like, I think that the implication is that for content creators, that the reason that content creators exist is to make money, right? Like that's all. Well, I mean, but generally speaking, like I'll just pick some of my favorite YouTubers, and maybe you're nerdy like me, maybe you're not. I watch Linus Tech Tips all the time. He makes a lot of money.
He does.
You know what? But he doesn't do that to make money. Yeah. He makes money because he's good at what he does and he creates good content. Like we make money, yes, as agents. Why? Because I'm going to say it because we're good. We're good at what we do. And on our side, people hire us. We don't do this show. Jeremy doesn't do this show. I promise you, Jeremy doesn't need to do this show in order to grow his business because he's good at what he does. He's going to get referral business. He's going to get people that approach him anyway. He doesn't need this show to be successful. He does do this because he likes it and loves offering the information to everyone. So,
except for Sunday at 10 a.m.
Yeah, I do. I understand what people are saying like that. Yes, indirectly, anybody in content creation or anybody in the industry does benefit indirectly, I think. But none of us are here because we expect it to be a financial deal.
Yeah. And Silverman, I personally did not take it that you were saying this about us.
Neither.
But this is the frustrating part. And all of our frustrations of this market are coming out. I think in this video, somebody said this is a depressing video, but it's a depressing.
Really?
Yeah, somebody did way up there. I mean, here's the reality is it's really tough for us to sit back. We're getting beat up by builders, right? That are reducing what they're paying us. We're working just as hard. We have agents that are cutting each other out, right? They're reducing their fees.
Sellers.
And so this is not an easy market.
You can take half the commission. It's like, that's not how this works.
Yeah. And then people complain about our commissions when we're working our asses off right now.
Yep. It's always negotiable, right?
It's always negotiable. Well, it's negotiable that I work with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I can find somebody else.
Business. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think that, okay, we talked about regrets. How many people do you think regret hiring the agent that they did?
That is
probably a good amount.
Huge.
Yeah, a good amount.
Do any of you guys regret? And now you don't have to name anybody, obviously.
Yes. The answer is yes.
I'll just tell you. Do I regret it? Yeah. I hired an agent to sell my house in Little Rock. She didn't do anything, bro. She didn't do anything at all. And I do regret that because I think I could have made more money off that transaction. But I also didn't know the questions I needed to ask. The day of closing, I was like, hey, are you coming to my closing? She goes, no, I have other closings that day. So I'm going to sit at home in bed. Kid you not. So yeah, I do regret it. So I wonder if anybody else does regret the agent that they had.
Oh, I totally regret the agent I had for my first purchase because it was someone that did real estate. I didn't know any better. I wasn't in the industry yet. I was a first-time home buyer. I already had found, I already found the home that I wanted. So I already did all that. And then I found someone that actually I worked with that did real estate on the side. Something that I shouldn't have done that we've already talked about. And then she promised that she would give me money to like do a fence or buy me a fridge or something because it's during a time where a lot of people weren't buying houses. And that never happened. Yeah. And I was like, what was even the point of offering me that if you weren't? But either way, I felt like I didn't have someone that had my back because that's what I was expecting to be like, yes, this is right. This is wrong. This is what the builder should be doing. And it was awful. I had no idea what was going on. And that's actually one of the reasons I got into lending because the lender never contacted me. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't even know how much money I was supposed to bring to closing. I had to go get a check after I signed the documents at the closing table.
Whoa.
And
that's brutal. That's brutal.
And I was calling. I was like, I'm supposed to close tomorrow. How much money do I need? No clue. Signed. And then I had to go to the bank after. So I'm a fixer. I was like, there has to be a better way. And that was actually one of the reasons I transitioned years ago. But yeah, regret that.
It's so funny because that's actually the reason I started real estate too. I said, I'm tired of this. There's got to be a better way. Like, there's got to be some way that you can do this and actually give your clients what they're asking for, even remotely okay. It's just it's just crazy that the bar is set so low in some of these cases.
Well, it's because the test is so easy.
That's true. I wish it wasn't so much, but this is the world we live in. Also,
and priors, like you could have any kind of background issue, and as long as you disclose it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Also, everybody knows this. You do not have to have a license to be a general contractor in Texas either.
At all. You do not have to be licensed, and or a builder
or a roofer. I can go out tomorrow. I could literally go 5 minutes from now. In the next 10 minutes, I could pull a general contracting business.
Yeah.
That's so nuts.
Let's do it. Let's all become contractors, builders, start our REIT, get some more merch.
and Joel's completely right. Eileen is the best. She's the workhorse of this group. I always tell people I'm the show. She's the dough.
Oh my gosh. I think I just thought of something we need for the store.
What is it?
We need an inflatable, punchable Jeremy's face.
Yes,
oh my gosh!
With boxing gloves.
Pinchable face.
Punchable. With
Pinchable
boxing
face.
gloves.
Pinchable face. All right, so we're talking about why we got into real estate. Let me show you. This guy right here is the reason why I got into real estate. I'm going to blame this guy 100%. George Castellan out of San Diego. When I went to sell our house in San Diego, we had an agent. And it wasn't the best experience, but we actually had talked about renting our house. And then we decided, you know what, we're going to sell. He was ill prepared for that. It wasn't necessarily his fault, but he did a terrible job. And then we hired this guy right here, him and his partner. This guy was such a night and day difference. I said, I love what this guy did. I am going to emulate what this guy did, and I'm going to be an agent because of how this guy treated me. So if you're in San Diego thinking about selling your home in San Diego, free plug for George. I absolutely love this guy. I could not recommend him enough. George Castellan out of San Diego. I absolutely love this guy. I owe him a lot because just the way he treated me was just like, I'm going to treat people just like that. So there you go, George. Free plug.
That's awesome.
No, don't punch my face.
Why not?
How much did I pay, Kevin? It was a lot. It was a lot. It's funny. It's like people don't realize, like all three of us, in fact, I talked to Sarah, but all three of us talk to each other probably once every other day, once a day.
Every day.
Every day. Yeah. So, and if you ever call Sarah, she's going to go, hey, whoever. Every time I call Sarah, it's, hey, Jeremy. It's the best. It's the best. Oh, man.
You missed it today. I did my low voice.
Yeah.
You weren't even there.
She called Eileen, the one who counts, and was like, hey, guys. And she was like trying to throw me off because I always go, hey, Sarah.
I can't help it. It's in my nature. Try to bring some sunshine in.
So we've talked about, and people have complained, but pointed out that we have been negative on, well, not necessarily negative, just a downer. Let's talk about the positives in this market. Let's talk about the positives right now. Sarah, what are the positives?
I was waiting.
Glad you asked. I mean, honestly, I think the positives are the fact that the appreciation numbers are there. So and it looks like that prices are going to continue to rise. So if you buy now, you're going to get some equity, you're going to get some appreciation. And I think that that's huge because a lot of people are second guessing themselves, thinking like, oh no, am I buying on the high? And is it going, and I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you this for sure. I can just tell you based off like the statistics and the numbers that I've been watching and that I'm a part of and the talks and groups I'm in. But I think if anything, if you want to buy here, it can't be a bad choice. Austin's always been really great for real estate. And you can always convert it to a rental.
I agree with that. Look, it's tough. It's tough to get in, but once you get in, should everything hold the way it's holding now, and obviously supply is staying low, demand is staying high. When does this bubble-ish, whatever we want to call it, end? Well, if you're getting in now and it lasts 3 more years, 4 more years, you're going to be in good shape. So, and I was watching the PBD podcast and he was like, oh, realtors are going to tell you that. Well, sure. Absolutely. But I'm being honest. I'm buying right now. Sarah, I wrote an offer today for myself.
I was going to say that, like, you're speaking from experience, though. Like, you're not advising someone else to do that you're not doing yourself, which I think is huge. Like, you're not here just to sell. I'm not here just to sell people loans. I want to give people real advice because I think we're in a business where we care about those people, and all of us want to help people and make sure people are making informed decisions and their clients for life. So we're only going to give you advice that we would give ourselves and our families because we want to use our expertise to help you make good decisions and good choices. I'm speaking for all of you.
Yeah, no.
Right.
This is a great question. This is a fantastic question. How has this market improved you as a realtor lender? Kevin, he's had to wear a lot more sunglasses for sure.
Oh my gosh. I bought 3 new pairs the other day, just so you're aware.
I mean,
because they were buy one, get one free. Wait, that doesn't make sense. I bought 3. Wait a second.
Personally, I think I'm better at understanding how motivated people are in a market like this because you want to help. You really, truly want to help everybody. You do. And sometimes it is not possible. It's not, at least not at the moment. Right. Mm-hmm. So that now leads you into having that conversation saying, hey, you really need to look into this so that you'll be in a great position to move forward because you do want to help set everybody up. And so people don't like hearing that. I've been getting better at saying that's not really the way it works right now. That's hard. That's been hard for me.
I agree. Yeah. I think that.
Go ahead, Kevin.
No, go ahead. Ladies first. I will never. So ladies first.
All I was just going to say was piggyback off of what Ian was saying, and that I think if anything, we need to give clients transparency and we need to be honest with them. And so there's so many people here, and I think it kind of came up earlier, maybe there's realtors or lenders that don't have that much business because it's so competitive. And so they just want to tell people what they want to hear so they can just get something through. And I can just speak from experience that you're not doing anyone justice by doing that. And you need to really sit down and be honest, have an honest conversation with them because that, at the end of the day, it might be hard to hear, but as long as you have a plan, right? You're like, maybe not right now, but this is what we need to do to get you to where you need to be. I think that's what's most important. And I think at the end of the day, they appreciate that honesty versus getting their hopes high and then being a dream killer.
The dream killer. I would say, did everybody else go? I'll go last. I don't want to step on.
No, you go first. I want to hear what you have to say, Jeremy. You always go last. I want you to hear what you say.
Yeah, you're moderating.
That's right. I think it's a really good question because I think what it's done for me is made me ask more questions to put my client in the better position, whether it's on the listing side or the seller side. I think, we get caught up in things moving so quickly that there's questions we forget to ask. And so, when this market started getting really crazy, nobody really knew what to do. We just started writing just crazy offers. And that kind of sucked. But what I started doing after that was asking agents more questions and figuring out how to help my client in the best position. The other thing I would say is just like Sarah said, more clarity, because things move so quickly. If you don't give people the best information, they're going to make a bad decision and then back out. And the other thing is with that clarity is honesty, because it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if I sell somebody this home, the next home, or a year from now, or I don't sell at all. The one thing I don't want to happen is have them buy a home or sell a home and then be just absolutely upset about either the purchase or the sale. So just being more honest with people, because the reality is there's a lot of unhonest people in any industry, and I don't want to be one of those people. Mm-hmm. So it's just lining those things up. Has it made me better? I think it's made me stronger in figuring out how to navigate things and being a better problem solver all the way around.
problem solver. That's the key word right there. You are absolutely right.
Yeah, I think it's the most talented people in any industry, and I'm not just talking about the people that work hard, but the people that are good at what they do. When the challenge comes up, they rise to the level to meet the challenge, right? So I think all of us, because we're here, we care about our craft. Like we care about what we do, right? So it's caused me to not just like what Jeremy's saying, you have to become better at listening to people and understanding. It's made me, I thought negotiation was my strong suit before. This market has like brought out the beast of a negotiator in me. And I'm actually very proud of that for myself because I'm able to secure deals for both my clients on both sides. That makes a lot of sense, you know? And so I've taken this as an example, as frustrating as it is to show, we're not going to lie. It's frustrating to show 50 houses and write 10 offers and not get anything accepted for just one client. That's frustrating. But I think it's been a good opportunity for all of us to say, hey, what can we do better so that we are still here a year from now? Because a lot of agents are not going to be here a year from now. They're just not.
Yeah. Just to piggyback off your point, being more flexible and more adaptable in an ever-changing market has been a strength, and I'm glad that we're able to exercise it, and we all stay on top of it because we are together. I think that really helps. Like the agents that are moving in this market and spending time learning and growing, learning from their clients, learning from each other, learning from the builders and adjusting. I think that's all to the benefit of the client at the end of the day.
Sure.
So, yeah, agree. I like this question. Carlos gets a t-shirt for this question. I love this question.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of Real Migos and why do you guys spend so much time sharing all your experience with all of us? I will say for why I started my YouTube channel was out of frustration. Why I started my content the way my content is now, because if you go back and look at my older content, it's just fun videos about me and my son in real estate and like listing videos. The content has changed because I got frustrated. People were coming to me and they were asking a lot of questions and not prepared. Mm-hmm. And so I was spending so much more time preparing people. And then on top of that, the level of trust you have to build as a realtor takes so much longer when people know nothing about you. Mm-hmm. And so part of building this channel was to educate people and give them the information. There's so many people that reach out to me. They're like, thank you so much. I bought with somebody else, but it prepared me to ask that realtor the questions I needed to ask them and put me in a better position. And that's the thing is like, for people, look, there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad realtors out there. But if you're not going to use me or Kevin or Ian or anybody else that's on the show or use Sarah as a lender, we want you to be able to ask those questions and put yourself in a good situation. Because here's the thing. I've seen so many people that were salespeople for their city. Let me sell all the good stuff. Let me sell all the good stuff. And as you can tell from this channel, it's not all the good stuff, but it's preparing you for what you should expect for. Because the thing that I don't ever want to happen is somebody move here and be like, oh, Jeremy sold me on how great Austin is, but it sucks for this. I didn't realize the homeless population was so bad. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize how bad property taxes were. I didn't realize how bad the traffic was. I was just sold how great this is. And I'm the anti-salesman when it comes to everything across the board because I'm honest with people. And I think the reason why I've assembled the people that are on here is because we all have differing opinions, but we all have that same mindset where we want to give people honesty. And that is why Real Migos is here, in my opinion. Y'all can answer, but that's why I've put this together. Mm-hmm.
Sarah, why do you want to be a member of Real Me?
Yeah, I interviewed Sarah.
No, I've actually, honestly though, like I'm always so honored that, you know, to be invited to be on this channel because I think that there's a lot of people out there that have lending questions, that have mortgage questions, and that's like a scary world in itself. Like, and I love helping people, and I think that's kind of what we were just all talking about. And if I can give any information out there that can help someone better understand the process, ask better questions to their current lender, you know, even if they don't use me, like, great. That makes me happy. That I feel like I got something accomplished. So I'm always really happy to kind of hear also what you guys are experiencing and what the topic is and learning more that I can take back with me. But yeah, thank you for having me on here. I'd love to always love to be on here more, but I'm just happy to be on here to help contribute.
Yeah, something about needing a microphone and headphones, though.
Yeah.
It's coming. I ordered it. It's coming.
I'd like to share why I'm here. Jeremy told me there would be tacos.
Yeah. It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday. He owns.
I like the way my mullet looks on camera.
Smart.
I'm just
That's
kidding.
smart.
I actually I've always had a heart for teaching. So previous businesses I've done, I actually spent a lot of time in my entire life. When I'm passionate about something, I just want other people to know about it too. And I feel like I add a perspective on a lot of the topics that I got. When I'm passionate about something, I'm obsessed with it. I research everything about it. And then I'm so excited to share what I've learned with people that just kind of spills out. This was a great opportunity for me personally, because I love teaching. I love helping people not make the same mistakes that I made. And I don't care. I really don't care if you contact me or Jeremy or Sarah or Ian. I just care that you do what's right for yourself and make these decisions. Like Jeremy said, if you take the information that you're learning here and then you go back to your realtor and then you share that with them, we're cool with that. We're not upset that you use other people to buy and sell houses. That's not the intent. I think we all just really want to help people.
100%.
Can I finish? I'm just kidding. No. It's if I were to take what Kevin said, what Jeremy said, and what Sarah said, and
wrap it under one hat, what would it be?
What was that?
And wrap it under one hat.
Exactly, one hat, one beret. I think there are a lot of things to consider in this career, and it's really quite. I like using the words interchangeably: a blessing, an honor, a privilege. Just the ability to have the freedom to be able to share uninhibited and to collaborate with top producers, frankly, like people that are really good at their craft and have a good time with it, because you don't see that across a lot of industries, especially industries that are generally, I think somebody said scummy or typed scummy. Yeah, we being realtors were like the car salesmen of the world. And it's like, whoa. You're going to Zillow and you're calling me a car. Hold up. I mean, nothing against Zillow. Sorry, let me take a step back. But it's more that I think if people are truly investigating, truly understand the value that we bring, and educating people helps that. Educating people. And that was my job in a former life. Is I was a corporate trainer for many years. That's what I did, and I loved it. And so this gives me a chance to do that with people that I like spending time with, or people that I want to care about.
It's funny is that Kevin taught, you obviously do teaching, and then I was a manager at Costco for years. So we all have had to teach people or have people the management style. That's funny. And Sarah just looks great on camera. So
yes.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you. But I actually also taught in my job before this. I was I taught classes on how to get hired for jobs and how to interview. And I help people get jobs out of career colleges. So I love teaching and helping folks too. It's weird. It's funny.
It shines through though, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think I like putting more videos on my YouTube channel just so I can see if I can look better than Jeremy on camera. It doesn't happen very often. It doesn't happen.
That hat's the problem.
And that's why I keep buying new hats. I was hoping that, I saw his hair one day and I said, oh, I got to do that too.
Steven, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Finishing up his license and coursework and attending this live stream should also be a requirement. Yeah, I mean, people have actually asked me to help train agents. I've actually given talks on YouTube and things like that, but I have nothing inside me to want to go teach and make, there's so many people out there. This is what makes me so angry. Is there so many people out there that have programs just to sell to realtors to make money off realtors? The best way to make money in real estate is to sell crap to real estate agents. Sure. And so I've had people approach me like, hey, will you coach me? Will you do this? I'm like, no, I'm not here to benefit off realtors, because I've been that realtor my first year in real estate, struggling. I was up for rookie of the year, but I was running myself ragged, struggling, going broke. And I was paying for stuff I didn't need to pay for. And all these people were just selling me stuff. So I don't want to sell anything to people. That's not what I do.
You know what people don't realize is we can make more money selling merch than we do selling homes. So
yeah, right.
That's funny.
We sold like 2 shirts. That's why we're giving away shirts for free.
please wear our stuff in public.
Yeah,
Please
wear it in public.
Yeah,
tag. We we gotta come. I tried like creating the Instagram page for it, and I couldn't figure it out. So we'll have to do that so we can tag. Robert, again, welcome back and showcase all these great teachers. Anna, welcome back, Anna. I've been looking forward to Tuesday nights. I have been learning so much from y'all, and I have to prep for an interview. I'll catch the rest later. Also, vote for Sarah for fourth Migo. Ooh, that's a good one.
Good luck, Anna, on your
Anna, if you left, you almost got a T-shirt. Anna, if you watch this on the playback, I've already seen the emails come through. Hit me up in my email, Anna. Boom, you're getting one. We're up to like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shirts. I got 2 more shirts to give away. I think John, Carlos, I said your name, Carlos. John's getting a T-shirt.
He's put a lot of.
John puts a lot. Yeah, John's getting a shirt. Joel, you know you're getting a shirt already. It's okay. I don't even have to write your name down, John.
Where's Master Jedi?
Joel. Master Jedi got one.
Yeah, I was just saying I've got the Streamlabs thing. So at some point we'll start doing live polls and a couple other little things. We just haven't set it up. We're also busy actually helping people. It's crazy.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
We could play Squads Call of Duty together.
Yeah, that's after the channel though.
No, we need to stream it live so everyone can.
Man, we'll do that. It's got to be Battlefield though.
No.
All right, last one. Silverman.
Better than Call of Duty.
Warzone.
Silverman, 10th shirt. There you go. Nailed it. My email is up in the thing, homes@austinighthomes.com. Put your name in there. I got to verify you're the right person. I don't want no cheaters. There you go. That's the show tonight. We're at like 2.5 hours almost. So there you go. I want to welcome Sarah back. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Magic Mullet, thank you for all the info.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Ian of Austin, I love your berets, and everything that's under that hat is so intelligent. So thank you, sir. You are the heart of the show. And then myself, I need to shave. So there you go. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you for joining in. Thanks for all the great comments. We'll see you on the next one.
It's much appreciated.